Welcome back to Fox College Football, sponsored by Geico. It's easy to Geico. One of the most spectacular settings in college football is the home this year of the Apple Cup, the 115th meeting dating back to 1900. Washington has won a bunch of them recently. Wazoo wants back-to-back wins here, and the players feel it, Allison Williams.
They certainly do. Brock mentioned all the emotions this game brings, and the players I talked to echoed the same thing. These two teams, they share the same home state. They couldn't be more different when it comes to their cities, their cultures, and after today, their conferences. Washington receiver Rome Odunze said this is about a state divided. Regardless of what team is having success leading up to this game, it's all about the Apple Cup. It's taken with such importance for each team. We have that fire that the whole state shares. Wazoo receiver Lincoln Victor, who spent part of his youth in Washington, said it's the last game of the year. There's a lot riding on it for our side, but the impact is beyond our team. It goes throughout our community, throughout this state. Winning this game, it's the only thing that matters. It's not about the stats. It's about living up to the big moment and leaving it all on the line.
And, you know, living up to everybody in the past of this rivalry as well. In a couple of words, why this rivalry above all others in your heart?
Oh, it is familial. I mean, it's familiar here, but there are families divided in ways that you just don't find others. There's War Eagle, Roll Tide. There's not split families. There is in this state on both sides of it. Two very different schools about to collide.
And away we go. The Apple Cup 2023, and Leighton Smithson, who housed one last Friday against Colorado, decides that discretion is the better part of valor, in Washington State getting the ball. Washington won the toss and gave Cam Ward the football, and he is dangerous, elusive, and the guy.
And I think today, in talking to Jake Dickert on the field before the game, Ben Arbuckle, it is kitchen sink. It's everything. It's RPOs, it's end arounds, it's reverses. You're playing with nothing to lose today, everything to gain. And that number one, as he looks to the heavens, has got a skill set that can make a difference.
Every year he's grown as a quarterback. Incarnate Word for a couple of seasons before transferring here to Washington State last year. And he has the ball first. There is double reverse back to Ward. He's got Nakia Watson. That's 2 yards and a lot of movement. So 2nd and 8 coming up. There is the beginning of the kitchen sink. Connor Gomnes in the middle of this repurposed offensive line. Essa Pole is out, so Hilborn is the left tackle. Lincoln Victor, as you saw, 50 catches the last 5 games. The Washington native, as Allison mentioned, by way of Hawaii, and a marker comes in on the second play. Matthew Richards, our referee.
False start. Offense number 2. 5-yard penalty. 2nd down.
It's on the outstanding wide receiver Kyle Williams with his 56 catches. This defense has gotten better and better for the Huskies, and watch Braylon Trice today.
Yeah, he's going to be lined up everywhere, and it's going to be a problem for the edges. The edge players today are elite on both sides. Bruner with a career day when they needed him most in Corvallis. And Hampton, wearing that number 7, will come down and hit you.
He is the guy that put away the Utah win a couple of weeks ago with an interception of Bryson Barnes. 2nd down 12 for Washington State on its opening possession, and Cam Ward quickly out in the sunlight for Lincoln Victor. That's his first grab and likely not his last. And Mishael Powell with the hit and the stop and the emotion.
Biggest down right here. It always is in football, but when you're an underdog like Washington State is, and Cam Ward's facing a vulnerable 3rd down defense, an area where Washington has not been good consistently, staying on the field, limiting the touches for Michael Penix, so very critical.
The one place they have been pretty good is 3rd and long, and this just about qualifies from the 28-yard line. Got to get to the 35. Ward rolling into pressure. He is hit, and he keeps his feet somehow and gets it away for Nakia Watson, who slips a tackle. But that was all done by Zion Tupuola-Fatui.
ZTF, as he's known around here. Enormous tears as he hugged his mom. It's senior day, 6-year player. These edges, as I said, Cam's going to feel it, Penix is going to feel it, but this is why the Husky staff compared over and over Cam to Caleb Williams. He just creates it. He is so hard to bring down in extending plays.
ZTF lost his father just a couple of weeks ago. It was a highly emotional, long hug with his mom down in the field as Haberer gets it away, and Jeremy Bernard with a fair catch from the 31-yard line. If you have not seen Washington so far this year, go along for the ride with us in the Iditarod. Dillon Johnson, who's dinged up a little bit, but man, he can race as a cartoon dog. 11 touchdowns. Jalen Polk nearly 1,000 yards, but that's not all in the wide receiving core. Rome Odunze has become an All-American, really changing his body in the offseason. Contested catches for Michael Penix Jr., who leads the FBS in passing yards, and now really down the stretch they come in more beautiful weather than the snow that we indicated in our cartoon. First touch for Penix. They got a reverse for them. It's Bernard holding the ball. He got away from Ron Stone, and now he's finally dropped behind the line by the safety Jaden Hicks. Saw the pouch go flying there. Looked like one of the sled dogs was actually involved in the play. And here is the offense for Washington. How good is Fautanu on the left side of the offensive line?
Dickert said the best that he has ever seen. He is that kind of island. I mean, look at the athleticism. There's no knee braces, and those are some short pants for a left tackle. Jalen McMillan was a monster in this game. 7 receptions, 150 yards a year ago.
Had a passing touchdown to Penix as well. Getting healthier and healthier, McMillan, after missing the balance of the middle part of the season, and that's him in motion on the second down and long. No score opening drive for Washington, and Penix with a clean pocket zips it out. That is a line drive for Denzel Boston, who tries to churn for the first down. He is very close.
Yeah, that ball just got a little different mustard. It is just going to be just that little throw to the boundary, a little pivot route there, and you better have your hands ready, because when number 9 throws that fastball, it's like a catcher in baseball, man. It hurts. It hurts. These guys are pretty well versed. They've caught it all season long for the last 2 years, but it is a different kind of RPM.
Yeah, it hurts, but it's a pretty catchable ball, right?
Because it's such a tight spiral. Very, very occasionally is he ever loose with the ball.
Dillon Johnson is the tailback. There's a question about how many carries he can have today. Dealing with that foot injury, he does move the sticks into the body of Kyle Thornton. And this will be a defense that gets pressed all day. And watch the location for Stone and Jackson.
That's right. They're going to move them around. Jeff Schmedding, the first-year defensive coordinator, said we're not going to just line them up on those elite tackles. We got to move them around. A wholesale hockey line change as the backups come in. Thornton is a downhill linebacker, and Stephen Hall in. Shaw Smith-Wade still out. That is a critical injury for the Cougs.
Such a strong cover corner. Smith-Wade out today once more, as you said. And Penix hash mark to hash mark and wide of Odunze. 2nd and 10 as we take a look at our Easy Mode game plan sponsored by Geico. It's easy to Geico. What do you got?
Well, for Washington State, they've got to steal possessions. You know, any way, shape, or form, a turnover, doing what ASU did in this building a month and a half ago, special teams, and for Washington, somehow corral and contain Cam. As he saw in that opening series, the dude is elusive.
Certainly is. That was a 15-7 game you're talking about. That sort of was the defense's coming out party for Washington against Arizona State. Penix, nobody around him, and a little bit high and incomplete for Jalen Polk. And a little talking going on after the play as well.
And you've seen this the last couple weeks for Penix. The numbers earth-shattering the first month and a half. We saw it against Utah on a windy day. The ball would get away from him at times. Right, that is now back-to-back throws. A comeback to Odunze, he misses. Tremendous protection, but that one too sails. When he misses, because of that tremendous velocity, it typically is high and away.
And it was there. Odunze breaks off. He was matched up with Lampkin. Now he comes this direction, and they'll have Odunze against Jamori Colson. At the bottom part of that bunch, they run so much. Penix looking that direction, throwing that direction. Odunze tries to rescue it, and it is Colson who got into him. So they found the matchup.
They did.
And Colson wins.
He sure does. And just some young people playing here. And this is just that same out route, right? Comebacks, out routes. Penix so comfortable. Odunze usually frames and boxes out those corners so well with that big body. But give Colson credit. He was into the hip And those are 3 throws back to back to back. You don't see Penix miss very often.
That was the whole plan for Odunze in the offseason, was get better at contested catches. That time could not put it away, and so Washington set up for the punt. Remember, the Cougars did fake a punt in this game last year successfully as Isaiah Hamilton waves it off and watches it bounce inside the 15-yard line for Jack McAllister. And it keeps on rolling and rolling and rolling downhill. It's a 46-yard punt with some carry to it. Cam Ward is excited. Can the Cougars pull off a massive upset? He will help decide that, and he'll have the ball next. All right, so if the Cougars win, how?
Yeah, I think these are 3 critical areas for Jake Dicker. Can you somehow, some way get to Penix? Right, you've got the edges to be able to do that, but you've got to protect your own. Can you be surgical on 3rd downs? That false start killed that opening drive. Got to get to 3rd and 6 or less. That is where the Huskies are vulnerable. And then Cam, hey man, you're looking across. It's Bo Nix, it's Michael Penix in the Heisman chase. You got to go outperform the Heisman contender yourself.
He's going to have the ball in his hand. They throw it 70% of the time, which is top 3 in the FBS. Can they get to manageable 3rd downs with that?
Yeah, and those runs are largely RPOs too, with the pass option on them.
Quick set and incomplete. That's wide of Josh Kelly. So neither quarterback is cooking so far.
No, I think after watching Bo Nix last night, and the guy that's completing almost 80% of his passes, you've looked at a few of these throws. Penix missed 3. I mean, uncharacteristic there. We didn't see Bo Nix miss one of those last night. But this is what happens in some of these rivalry games. You can tell yourself it's just another game. You can tell yourself same process. But the atmosphere and what's at stake, very different.
So does it speed up? What is it? What does it feel like?
It does do some of that at times, no question.
Flat-footed Ward escaping the pocket. And he is hit. That is Bruner going hardcore into the waist of Cameron Ward.
You know, when you're facing that really elusive guy in basketball, the junior high basketball coach tells you what, watch his waistband. Don't get juked out by the shoulders and his feet. Look right at his hip. Watch 42 Bruner. He slips just a little bit, but look where his eyes are. They never deviate from that belt line. He goes right to the legs. As those deep coaches like to say, kill the engine. That means get after the legs.
Bruner, whose dad had an undefeated season in Husky colors back in the early 90s in 91. Can the Cougars be surgical on 3rd down here, 3rd and 6? It's Lincoln Victor in motion. Ward rolling that direction. He's chased by Bruner again, got his paws on him and forced the throw, and what a series for Carson Bruner.
Just playing with tremendous confidence. You're going to see him on the inside, but I like the concept. Get out of the mess. Get outside the pocket. Seal the edge. But Bruner, great vision, great anticipation, and the relentlessness there to just take the play away. When you face guys like Caleb Williams and Cam Ward, you've got to close the space. You can't give them all that freedom. 42 does just that.
That's back-to-back 3-and-outs for Washington State to open the ball game. Haberer to punt it away, and Bernard with a fair catch with Cougars going by. 37-yard punt, good field position for Michael Penix Jr. He opened 1 for 4, but he is a Heisman candidate. He recovers well generally. We'll see what the second touch is for the Huskies when you come back to Seattle. Fox College Football is sponsored by Allstate. You're in good hands. And by AT&T. Connecting changes everything. This series, now known as the Apple Cup, they played for the Governor's Trophy before, is littered with upsets like this one, where a big favorite has so much on the line and goes down. Happened to be 1982, where we start historically. Today, Washington State was an 18-point underdog. They come back, they win the game on an interception with under a minute to go. And so much on the table for Michael Penix Jr. and Washington, and so many close wins this year for Kalen DeBoer and this Huskies team. Penix to throw. That's Jalen McMillan. And he is across the 45, and he looks like he's bouncy.
Yeah, 35 snaps a week ago, 2 drops in just torrential rain in Corvallis. But in talking to Ryan Grubb and crew, you could feel it. You could feel his bounce. Kalen DeBoer said this week was the first time he felt like his passing game was all the way back. And you could see the elite numbers last year in Pullman.
That was Hicks coming up at the line from the safety position, and through the wash, Dylan Johnson does create the first down. He gets 3 and needed 2.
It felt like a crimson, white, and gray washing machine, didn't it? Just a little bit of spin cycle. Look at all the bodies, the inside run here. Counter play, athletic offensive line, but there's 1, there's 2, there's 3, 4. And just a little nudge forward to move the sticks. Those upsets come because these guys lay it on the line. I mean, they play so hard. They know what's at stake in this state.
And this being the last one in Pac-12 play. Eternal bragging rights in some ways. Penix zips it out wide. Odunze breaking a tackle from Lampkin and out of bounds. And that thing just has a vapor trail on the back of it for 22.
Just no error. And you know they're going to just continue to do what they do. A couple misses are not going to deter Ryan Grubb and 6-year Michael Penix. But truly, I mean, you see those elite shortstops in baseball, right? And there's just no elevation on the ball. It's a clothesline. It is a line drive. It's whatever you want to say, but man, does it get from point A to B in a hurry.
It's like watching a pebble skip across a lake. First down once again. McMillan in motion. Catch in stride, and McMillan with the burst down to the 10. Sam Lockett dragged him down.
We were talking before the game. You just kind of have a sense with number 11 that they want to get him going to win this game today. He's the third arm of it with Odunze and Polk. And yes, the run game is nice, but him as a weapon in the slot, filthy.
He just hasn't played a whole lot of football this year. He played that whole first half against Michigan State and then was out of the lineup for the balance of a month and a half.
And a one-on-one to the top if he wants it.
It's a run. Johnson changing direction and wrapped up and spiked down by Hicks, who's been very active from the safety spot so far.
And he is so physical. 2 physical, strong safeties in this game. Hampton on the other side, Hicks on this side. He was a force a year ago as well. You're going to see him come into the picture, and the minute he sees that ball in the belly, and I'm sure part of him's like, great, it's not a pass. Let me come down and actually finish in the run game. Something he does very well as the second leading tackler for these Cougs.
It's an interesting play call spot here for Grubb in Washington.
Lots of different weapons. 3 tight ends on the field. There's your one-on-one to the top.
Give it to Johnson instead, picking his way across the 5. Stone went with him down to the 3.
And so much of this you get in these formations in the first quarter, Jason, to see how is Washington State going to react. What are they going to play? How are they going to play our 3 receivers? How are they going to play our 3 tight end sets? So you get that snapshot for later. And Ryan Grubb's so good from up above, one of the rare offensive coordinators that likes to see it all from the booth. This is about making sure you're putting together everything, not just for this drive, but the pictures for later, too.
They got Westover, Johnson, and Odunze at the top, and now they'll break that off and put Johnson in the backfield. It's counter action. It's Johnson, and he is a yard short. Stone collapsed on him. 2nd and goal.
Right to the line of scrimmage they come.
Got to have a football first.
Watch the move, Paul. Watch the move, Paul.
Deep under center. Penix is stonewalled. Brennan Jackson came over the top to drive him back.
He did, but it was the big boys in the middle. Look at this. Look at the action here. Low man wins. Custa at that nose tackle spot right away. Submarines underneath, so his buddies could come clean up over the top.
Chance to substitute. They bring on Lampkin. A couple of corners came on here. Johnson, touchdown. Same idea against different size that time.
Well, this time you win right at the double team, and Tafia does all he can right here and right here, but ultimately you win on the double team. You get just enough push, and Kyle Thornton unfortunately has to take the blunt. That hit from Dylan Johnson as he plows his way in. A bit of a statement there in the red zone to not just have to throw it, the ability to pound the football as well.
It's a flag coming in on the extra point by Gross. Yeah, you're right. We saw it last night.
We did.
From Oregon as well, making a very clear statement on their first possession against Oregon State. And there's Dylan Johnson, who's just not been totally healthy for most of the year, a preseason injury. He said he didn't really feel explosive, and Ryan Grubb talked about that when we were here 2 weeks ago. But they need him.
They do, and he's fighting. You could see it right there. A foot injury this week.
Illegal formation. Defense lining up over the snapper. That penalty is declined. The result of the play is the try is good. Timeout on the field.
Dylan Johnson into the end zone. Washington the first lead today.
First down. Be physical every single play. You hear me? And fellas, again, Coach and I, we envy you, man. We would trade places with you. But you know the beautiful part is we get to go watch you guys go be special. So go cut it loose. Go cut it loose. You feel me? Let's go, fellas. Here we go. Legs on three. 1, 2, 3. Legs.
Such a cool message from a guy who really ran it well in his day, by the way, at Boise State, Lee Marks.
Someone said that too. His 13 and 14-year-old son's football championship game in a locker room, I don't know, a few weeks ago. What I would give, and you can see Dylan Johnson, he is still hobbling a little bit. They felt like, man, hopefully we can get him 15 touches, maybe have him in the fourth quarter. You want LeBron in to shoot the game winner. He got a bunch of work early, and that foot does not look 100%.
No, right as he came off the field, as you said, it was noticeable as this goes to Smithson, and this time he is going to test it. Leighton Smithson, very explosive, and he gets absolutely blasted at the end of that run by Dunn. Wow. Carson Bruner and Washington saying, so far 7-0 the Huskies unbeaten. Fox College Football is sponsored by Pacific Life, creating financial security for more than 150 years. Huge surges from the crowd pre-game, and this hug between Zion Tupuola-Fetui and his mother Tammy. It's just unreal considering what they've been through. First down for Washington State. Cam Ward slings it hard, incomplete for Josh Kelly. Allison, what do you have?
Yeah, it's been just a month since Zion lost his father, Molia, and you saw the emotion as he hugged his mom, Tammy, who was wearing his father's jersey. I spoke to Tammy. She said today it's hard, but she feels her husband's presence and pride. Today would have been their 26th wedding anniversary. So a lot of emotion for this family, and they are waiting until after the season to have his funeral.
So run for Watson. And talking to Zion a couple of weeks ago as we had the opportunity to, he said, look, when I'm in the middle of making a play, doing something at practice, I'm just in it, right? And I'm grateful for football for giving me the opportunity to just be in that. But then it hits him, as expected, at random times. And man, oh man, what he has done to still play football and what his family means to this team is special.
Because the other family are the brothers on the field that are picking him up and loving him too.
Checking on him through the course of the week, making sure he's okay.
Huge third down, Jason.
3rd and 9. Got to get to the 34. They do. It's Josh Kelly on a dart from Cam Ward.
There you go. You've got to stay on the field. Your defense cannot sustain 17 here on just a quick little slant. That ball is out in such a hurry from Cam Ward as well. Too much cushion. Move the sticks.
And with some tempo, Cam Ward, it's a long ball. He wants Kyle Williams, and he somehow wrangles that football against Elijah Jackson. Outrageous.
Wow. I see you, Roma Dunze. You may wear number 1, but number 2, he can win in these one-on-ones as well, and that is body control to fight through the early contact. Coulda, shoulda, woulda been PI. Doesn't matter anyway.
More speed from Cam Ward in rhythm. Down the middle, Kelly, touchdown. A dagger from Cam Ward.
So good on so many levels here. Uses his eyes, back-to-back throws. He knew exactly where he wanted to go. Throws the safety with his eyes. And you can't run better routes than those 3 right there. A slant route, a go route, and then the post. And that's on number 1, Jabbar Muhammad.
Oh, is that an outstanding season in that defensive backfield for Washington? But Josh Kelly, who really did propel them to that Oregon State win with 3 touchdowns, ties the game at 7.
Well, in Williams and Kelly, you've got 2,000-yard receivers each, and you could see the eyes. Look, he knows right where he's going, but I'm going to use those eyes to make sure the safety is nowhere near that ball right there. That is what happens with 4 years of experience. And here's the post route that turns around. Jabbar Muhammad right there. This is an explosive offense, just as Deion Sanders a week ago.
The guys who coached Cam Ward, there's a story earlier this year about Cam Ward growing up. And the guys who coached him kept telling college coaches, hey, first of all, he ran the wing tee to start.
Correct.
Okay? If he had the opportunity to show you what he can do, you will be happy with him. That's how it was for Eric Morris at Incarnate Word. They came here together to Washington State. Morris now at North Texas. But Cam Ward is the epitome of improvement and development.
And then you know what happens? Josh Kelly at Fresno State says, I kind of want to go play with that guy. Kyle Williams from UNLV says, I wouldn't mind playing with that guy. And as I said, both of those guys over 2,000 yards in their career, veteran, fifth-year receivers. And there's opportunity there. They needed that 3rd down. They had to have that 3rd down to just get to more plays, because there are one-on-ones that can win on that perimeter, and they just showed it.
That was their first 3rd down conversion of the day for Cam Ward in the offense. And Gata on the return. And he has a crease across the 30-yard line. And a little post-play malfeasance going on, just in case we hadn't told you. This is a rivalry, and they are bound to tell you on the field. Jake Dickert, Wisconsin native, bounced all over the state of Wisconsin and was so fired up after the 4-0 start, considering what it meant to this program that is sort of being left behind from the Pac-12 and the exodus there. They lost their next 6 games, and he said sometimes you forget what it feels like to win. And they did in a big way to propel themselves into this game last Friday against Colorado. Here comes Stone. Penix on a screen. It's a middle screen for McMillan, and he sachets past a couple for 9 yards, then gets undercut by Jackson, who sunk his battleship.
Brennan Jackson just has no governor. A beautiful little screen here. It's going to come back underneath. They love to do this with their receivers, their tight ends, anticipating those guys up front to be wired and rush the passer. But Jackson just does not stop.
This has a different cadence than last night as McMillan takes a tumble, and it's a loss of about 3.
How so?
You know, your heart beating out at the thump, the thump, the thump. Do you feel it?
Yes. And here's a 3rd down for the Cougs themselves right here. Do a terrific job of converting offensively, and now can you just turn your guys loose? These guys right here, they've got to be the factor on the edges. They've got to somehow, some way disrupt Michael Penix's rhythm and timing.
They're very wide of the line right now as they break off the tight end Cuevas. Jackson at the top, Stone at the bottom of the formation. They are leaning, and here they come, and Penix got it out very quickly for Denzel Boston. The ball is on the deck, and it's picked up by Jaden Hicks of Washington State. It's Cougar football. Now, one official said Cougar football, another one is waving it off, so let's see. Okay, so the official on the near side pointed Washington State football, it looked like, and then one came in and waved incomplete, so they're going to call it incomplete. The back judge had incomplete.
This is going to be close. And Buda Aukda, who is showing blitz and then bolts out to get into a collision here. Yeah, I don't think he ever has enough control nor time to possess it there.
I agree. And it looks like they're going to stay with that.
What a 3 and out. After the shots down the field, gaining a little momentum, the Cougar faithful, you could feel the turn just a little bit, and relentless effort and energy to force the punt.
We've heard from a number of teams this year that the defense can sometimes enliven the offense, and then vice versa, as Hamilton will watch this one go bouncing again out of bounds, and they'll have it in the hands literally of Cam Ward, who caught the punt on the sideline. And now a word from Shop with Google.
Little man. Yeah. Why are you always trying to one-up me, bro? Me? I thought you was the #1 son. All right. But did you remember to buy the coffee maker from Mom, though? Once again, way ahead of you. Yeah, but I found a better deal. Wait, how? Shop with Google, little bro.
Our crew typed in shop rivalries all weekend. Washington State. This is a slant. It's caught by Josh Kelly, who just had the touchdown for Washington State.
So just here's what happens when you throw a go route, you throw a post route. You know that defense going to be a little bit softer. Love the call there from Arbuckle to come right back with that quick slant.
The 28-year-old offensive coordinator gives it to Javinsky Schlenbaker on that carry for a first down. He's out of Bellingham, Washington. He is a Washington native, and they want to run another play here before this quarter ends. Ward stepping up, got away from Trice once. Trice is back after him. Washington wants a hold, and they're going to get it on the outside at the end of this first quarter.
Can you imagine playing offensive line for this guy?
No. Hold your block. For
Right.
how long? I don't know. It looks like it's Tialavea.
Offense, number 57. 10-yard penalty, replay first down. That's the end of the first quarter.
He's blocked. He's blocked. Where's Cam? I don't know. I'm kind of getting tired, so let me just grab a little cloth.
You have to have sympathy for the lineman in that situation.
Yes.
Hey, this has been a great one so far. Old Crimson flying here in Seattle. 7-7. Harry's in a tight one.
Coach DeBoer, you get the touchdown in the first quarter, but also the near turnover. I'm just curious, kind of what's your sense you get on that side of the ball early in this one?
On what side?
Offense.
On offense? Yeah, I mean, just got to convert a first down there. You know, hold on to the ball, just the details. And, you know, when we find our rhythm, it's good. Just got to do the easy things, and that's throw and catch.
Thanks, DeBoer.
Yeah, thank you.
Look, it's been easy at points this year for all the Sailgators to watch here in Washington, but there have been a lot of close games recently, and they're in another one. Just like their undefeated season back in '91 when Washington State went to the end of the first quarter with a 7-6 lead. Washington ended up with a blowout victory in that game, but that undefeated season, they had a very similar first quarter with Washington State.
I think that was a young Drew Bledsoe, if I remember right, who just instilled a lot of confidence in the people around him.
Think about the quarterbacks that have come through this series.
Kind of like number 1 right here. He does the same thing. He gives his guys chances out there. It's all receivers often want in one-on-one. Give me the shot.
Cam Ward breaks to the outside. He shakes contain. He drops it off. It's incomplete for Watson, and a marker comes in as well.
So do you want 2nd and 28 or 3rd and 17?
Holding. Offense, number 79. 10-yard penalty. We play 2nd down.
Yeah, it's the outstanding right tackle, Fa'amoe.
The penalty has been declined. The result of the play is a 3rd down.
Yeah, that's Braylon Trice, and you're going to see in Trice, in ZTF, you've seen it in Stone and Jackson. These 4 edge guys on both sides are going to be very difficult for these tackles, even more so for Washington State because of the noise in this venue and the extra half-step advantage you typically get playing here as a defensive end.
Did you say noise? Two hands on the wheel for Cam Ward.
Pressure look.
They back off. They rush 3. Ward slings it right to the sticks, and very, very close. Forward progress going to be about a yard short. Man, oh man, that was really close for Isaiah Hamilton. And this is a go for it here, isn't it?
Oh, no question. It's going to be aggressive all day long anyway. Even if this was 4th and 5, they're going to go for it. And that's why I think typically pressure better against Arbuckle to get the ball out earlier. Bring more than they can block. Instead, you bail out. Cam Ward and these receivers are going to find the voids in the zone. He throws it early.
The previous play is under further review relating to the line to gain for the 1st down.
Worth it to stop for the replay booth here to check and see where Isaiah Hamilton ended up. Here's a guy who, as a high school senior, he was about 23 yards per catch. They had to have 17 here, and he got 16.5 for now.
Yeah, you're going to see him just come into this little curl zone right here. He catches it.
Now, he gave himself up there. Dean, what do you see? Where did the ball end up, do you think?
I think it might be a little further up from where they spotted it. The line to gain was the 44. That's your forward progress spot. The look isn't right down the line, so it's always going to push that action forward. They spotted it on the 45. I think you can move it closer, but you can't make it a 1st down here. It's not clear that the ball made the 44.
Hey, Dean, you were all over it this morning, huh? A few close calls there in Ann Arbor?
Just a couple. Just a couple.
For the review, the ruling on the field stands. 4th down.
Okay, so they'll say it stands. He's short. And now it's a determination of what Arbuckle and Ward want to do and how to go for it.
And this is some of the challenge. You're not an elite run team. In fact, in that losing streak, that was the biggest culprit of all. You just found very little balance for Coach Arbuckle and Cam Ward in the run game. Watson was better a week ago. You do have some new pieces playing their 2nd game together on the left side. I think I like the ball in number 1's hands. Let him make the decision.
Buckle up. Revere in the backfield to push. Revere trying to drive Cam Ward forward, and this is going to be really close. It looks like he's about a 1/4 of a yard short. Gomna says 1st down. Jackson says Washington ball. Somebody's right.
Both side judges ran in and did not put that at the 44.
Yeah, he's short. The Philadelphia Eagles do it very well. Washington was onto it. Cam Ward a little bit short. The Huskies take over when we come back. Welcome back to Fox College Football, sponsored by Geico. It's easy to Geico. A lot of sailgating and a lot at stake between the Cougars and the Huskies. Washington trying to go 12-0 for the 2nd time ever. Alex Brink was the guy. About 2 decades ago, back-to-back wins in Seattle, 05 and 07. Washington's only touchdown on a short field so far from the 49 last time. Dylan Johnson in a series where the team that runs for more yards has won it 9 straight times. Johnson again is 6.
Yeah, not many November 25ths that look like this through all of the rivalry, and so many of the coaches and players on the field pregame. So what a gift this weather is. Caitlin DeBoer said to Allison, do the easy things. The details. Do the easy things right. Not a lot of it. 2 out of the first 3 possessions for the Huskies.
This will be the 8th carry for Dylan Johnson, who stumbles, keeps his feet, gets drilled by Hicks, and he's out of bounds. Allison.
Yeah, guys, just watching Dylan Johnson on the sideline before this possession, just pacing a lot. You can tell he is trying to fight through it as he runs to the sideline here. Definitely bothered by that leg injury, and it's something they knew they were going to have to monitor throughout this game. They'll be in constant communication with him to see how he feels. He's a veteran guy. They trust that they can rely on him to tell them how much he has, because they have to make sure they have him at the critical moments in this game.
Well, they would love to have him in the 4th quarter, as we've talked about. Thank you, Allison. Nixon is in, and pass protection. His man came down into Penix, and there's a flag in on the coverage from Jamori Colson.
Yeah, all he could do right there on the double move from Roma Dunze was grab the T-shirt, and it was a good thing he did. That's good coaching right there. Eyes.
Pass interference. Defense number 29. The ball will be placed at the spot of the foul. Automatic first down.
So smooth. They run so many intermediate passes. Nobody more at 15 plus than these guys. So what comes off the intermediate? The little curl and go, and there's just enough cloth by Colson to save the touchdown.
Think about what Jeff Schmedding told us about these Washington receivers, how good they are on the second level of their routes, and what they do to put you in binds late in their routes. And there, Odunze did that to Colson. This is a pitch out wide for McMillan.
That's now 5.
It is.
5 receptions for Jalen, trying to get him going. And I said to you earlier, what Caitlin shared this week on the practice field was like, wow, okay, finally, we're back to September. Because it's been since then, since they've had all the amigos out there just doing their thing, showcasing their talents, putting Polk back outside, Odunze outside, and McMillan in the slot. Not a better triumvirate in college football.
He's got the safety on him, Hicks, right now. Odunze next to him at the top of the screen. A lot of communication from Washington State. And Al-Ook to the linebacker. Penix going up high, and that's incomplete for Odunze, with Lampkin stapled to it.
Yeah, that was just a foul ball. This guy throws and hits a lot of home runs and a lot of line drives, but that one just got away from him. And once again, this is all Wazoo wants to do. Make it hard, man. Keep him out of rhythm. Get to third downs like this that means something.
Gross's long this year is 47 in terms of field goals, and we have a whistle before the snap here, and a timeout coming for Washington State.
Washington State, their first of the half. Timeout on the field.
Jake Dickert calls timeout. They will have a third down to face Michael Penix Jr., Heisman candidate, Washington State. The upstart Cougars tied at 7 here in the second. Fox College Football is sponsored by Discover. 1996 Apple Cup. The card here says Washington had a 24-0 lead. Brock Heward, who was that strapping young lad throwing the ball into the end zone? Who was it?
Don't know.
Was it you? Was that you playing in the Apple Cup?
Ryan Leaf
searching for your ego over here. What's it like playing in these things?
Special, and you remember Chad Carpenter from Weiser, Idaho, being inches out in overtime. Otherwise, it would have gone to double overtime.
You remember it like it was yesterday. You put yourself there.
You do.
And so will these guys. When this game is over, tied at 7. Odunze in motion. Tybo Rogers, the freshman, into the backfield. 3rd and 6. Penix off his back foot, and he sailed it.
Wow.
He might have felt Brennan Jackson closing in on him. He was double teamed, but Penix hustled it out of bounds.
Yeah, he's just a little bit off, and that has been a couple weeks now, and we really thought the weather played a huge role in that. Jackson does an awesome job, just gets around him. I think he also did not see where the flat defender was and wasn't going to put the ball in harm's way, but this is a big 43-yarder. Mr. Gross has missed 2 of his last 3, and in warm-ups going this way, it would have been a venture.
McAllister will hold Jaden Green to snap it off the hash mark from 43. For the Washington lead, it is on the way, and it is no good.
The field goal is no good.
Here we go, says Jake Dickert.
You just want to make this game interesting. Just make it hard. Just don't let these Huskies get on that sled and run away from you. Right? Make them critical third downs. And this is what it looked like in warm-ups. A little bit right, a little bit left. After starting so smooth, kind of like the whole Husky season the first 6 weeks. And a little rough. And Jake Dickert knows, all I want to do is get this game to the second half. All I want to do is put all this purple pressure on these Huskies who have so much on the line. And we can just have one kind of fun afternoon.
How about these 2 guys? Oconto, Wisconsin. Millbank, South Dakota. A combined population of about 8,000.
Only natural they would land in Pullman and Seattle.
And now how about this? John Mateer is out to play quarterback for the moment. They do have a package in for him. He's thrown the ball 17 times this year, the freshman.
Physical.
Yes, he is, and he was submarined by Carson Bruner. What do you think of this, Brock?
I think this is just a little bit of a mix. You're going to see Cam come back into the game, but it's 6'1", 220. Don't run Cam between the tackles. He's going to take enough contact on his own running around, but just present that front. Another little picture. Mix and match for Coach Arbuckle, the 28-year-old offensive coordinator there.
One of the few offensive coordinators we can talk to about playing NCAA football video games. In fairly recent memory, 2nd and 8 for Cam Ward. He delivers a strike. Kyle Williams in traffic, first down.
I like one of the comments we were talking about. Lincoln Victor saying we have depthless routes. Depthless just means find space, and Cam Ward will throw you into those windows.
It's Lincoln Victor, former quarterback whose family moved from Hawaii to Washington when he came to play high school football.
Certain systems have very clear markers, very clear spacing, very clear you got to get to this depth, you got to run at this level. Not so much this system under Arbuckle. Get to open space and can't anticipate it.
What does that do to a defense?
It just puts you in a constant bind. Now you've got to be on the same page. You've got to make sure that QB and receiver are seeing it similarly, but Cam Ward sees the game so quickly, it helps with all those different options.
He hands it off, Nikhil Watson, and man, Carson Bruner has been everywhere.
He just has a nose for the ball, and he is just gaining the confidence. They've rotated their linebackers a lot. You will see 4 of them on the inside, and I think Carson Bruner's looking at that sideline saying, don't take me off the field. 14 tackles a week ago, and he's on his way again. Stay on count here as the noise escalates.
Mathers, the tight end, in motion. Watson goes wide. He's going to run behind Mathers, and Cam Ward plunges forward for the first down if that spot from the far side official is accurate and controls, and it does.
Yeah, just enough there by Mathers to come around the walk-on. You're going to see him. It's contact with Mr. Bruner right here. Good job on the front side, pushing Bandez off of his spot. So Mathers can come around. The O'Day product right there too. Local boys, that's what this rivalry is about. Woodinville, Washington, where Carson Bruner makes home. O'Day High School right down the road here in Seattle. The purple and the crimson know what's at stake.
That's Victor. He can throw it. Former quarterback in high school lets it rip. It is incomplete. Jabbar Muhammad was closest to Schlenbaker to go up for the jump ball.
Yeah, that just was too far a throw. Jabbar Muhammad got 2 of them on the Saturday night primetime last week, and that one with the wobble doesn't look like a Cam Ward or a Michael Penix kind of pass, and that far across the field. As you see Chuck Morrell, the defensive coordinator, 2 of them. He and Coach Inge share those responsibilities, but Morrell the one to call it.
Pressure from the corner. Schlenbaker picks it up beautifully. There is a marker in, and Ward will be stood up and sacked. Asau Afoo was the one to stop his progress, and it's a loss of 7, depending on the penalty, which looks like another hold.
This is our buddy, uwvideo.
You okay over there?
I'm doing all right. I do feel for these guys up front, man. It is not an easy job. uwvideo making his 2nd start there at left guard.
Holding. Offense, number 57. That penalty is declined. The result of the play is a 3rd down.
Yeah, and Roderick fought some injuries a year ago. You could see just trying to get his legs underneath him. It's just right here. It is a full 2-point takedown of Tupatala.
But because of the sack, they can decline the penalty.
3rd and extra long last time. They rushed 3, they dropped 8, and Cam Ward threw right into it. I'd be surprised if you don't at least pick up his clock a little.
Now Bruner's coming around the edge. ZTF, and it's intercepted. They did speed up the clock, and they got a pick out of it for Thaddeus Dixon for Washington. Different call defensively.
You knew it after the last 3rd and 18. You just can't let this guy get into a rhythm and get settled. And it's that little kiss from ZTF. Just like the other side has impacted Penix. The best way to get after elite quarterbacks, make them uncomfortable.
Coming up on the State Farm halftime, the drama in Ann Arbor more than lived up to the hype while Jaden Daniels continues to write his Heisman resume in a top 10 upset that could shake up the path to the playoff. Jason and Brock, we'll see you at the half.
Looks like he's doing the updates from Little House on the Prairie. I love it. Mike is very festive. Thanksgiving weekend. Thank you, Mike. We look forward to it. Already some upsets around college football. Washington trying to sidestep a Cougar-sized pothole so far today. Dylan Johnson back in the ball game, and he's met at the 40-yard line by Gusta on a gain of 9.
And this is a way to settle down a quarterback in a passing game that just is not as sharp. Just get number 7 here. Get Dylan out on the edge. Get your athletic guys out in front. The Huskies do have a whole package of 3-4 tight ends they can put on the field as well.
You know, one great drive so far for Penix on a short field, and then everything else has gotten bogged down. Chewing on a 2nd and 1. Here's a throw. Penix wants a deep shot. Odunze, and it's batted away. Jamori Colson with tremendous cornerback skills right there. There is a marker in on the far side of the field at the 35.
Well, we saw him beat earlier on a little curl route. We saw him win, and you're going to win some, you're going to lose some, but this time stay in right in
receiver
position.
Downfield, offense number 77. 5-yard penalty, replay 2nd down.
That's textbook, Brock.
That's so good. Who is Jamori Colson?
Well, he's a sophomore.
Yes.
He's from the state of Georgia. He's a transfer from Iowa Western Community College, that strong program in the state of Iowa.
He's got 6 tackles on the entire season. That's the point. There is no Shaw Smith-Wade. There's no Stephen Hall. He's really playing on that side opposite of it, and he's won 2 or 3. I mean, you win 2 or 3, 3 or 4 of those one-on-ones against Rome Odunze, who you're giving up size and experience to, you'll take it.
They did take the penalty for a legal man downfield, so this is 2nd and 6, and Brennan Jackson just tosses Johnson over his own body, and it's 3rd down and short anyway.
Just get to 3rd downs, right? Just make Michael Penix and make these Huskies earn it. Brennan Jackson just relentless in his effort. Stone on the other side, 2 6th-year seniors that said, no. Between the two of them, turned down 7 figures to come back to Pullman to finish what they started. And you see it in just the effort, man. It jumps off of the tape, and the more of these third downs in pressure situations they can put the guys in purple in, the better.
They're playing to get to a bowl game. They won another game in their career here. Penix play action. Looking to go over the top. He catapults it down the field. Odunze's alone.
Well, this time it is Lampkin that is matched up, and he just gets his feet caught right off the line, and it's over. Just an impossible situation. Hicks has got to cover the tight end down the middle of the field. Westover, in the minute that Lampkin falls down right here, that's about as easy as any Apple Cup touchdown could be.
He could have run to the Coliseum. There was nobody near him. Gross. Extra point is good.
The Coliseum, Vegas.
I'm out on the field.
Anywhere you want to go off a pick like this. Ward affected by the rush from ZTF. So the turnover for Washington, and Rome Odunze, who has just been so explosive, makes it 14-7, and the arrow's on target. Fox College Football is sponsored by Wendy's Breakfast. 2 for $3. Biggie bundles. Terms apply. Rome Odunze, touchdown. Hi, Rome. Sick gloves, by the way. Use a couple pairs of those. Look, who does he remind you of? What do you think?
Well, he's a pro, and he's climbing the list there of 2 phenomenal pros at the next level, and you don't know if he's going to quite catch Reggie Williams if he were to come back to school, which he's not. I got a little something at the next level.
You do?
That he reminds me of.
Is this a tease before the kickoff?
Yeah, a little tease.
Oh my, we got to wait around for that. Smithson on a return. Oh my goodness, that's the second time Dunn has come downfield and cracked a returner.
You don't mess with a Sumner Spartan right there. That's what they do. It was actually an NFL scout this week. I was chatting about Rome on my radio show, trying to figure out who he is at the next level, and got a text from my buddy. He's like, he's Devontae Adams. He's a little bit taller, but he has all of these skills. A totally elite route runner, tremendous body control with that frame, and then just a catch radius. He knows how to use those arms and that size. He'll run a tick faster than Devontae did at the combine too. 10 600-meter guy in high school, huge recruit. Junior Adams, who I was chatting with at Autzen last night, just says it, man. These guys, Troy Franklin, Rome Odunze, absolute studs, and going to be great pros at the next level.
He put away that game last week of the rain against Oregon State, and Cam Ward does get it away for Kelly and a first down. And by the way, I won't tell Salk that you said it was your radio show as you were talking about it. First down, Washington State. It's a run. It's straight ahead for Watson. And how about the numbers on the hits on Cam Ward? 3 hits, 4 hurries, a sack, and a pick.
It's going to be just critical when you're facing both of these guys on both sides of it. And yet again, another penalty flag. So many of these, if this goes against Washington State, just backs up your opportunities. Cam's here in the call, and it looks like it will actually go the other way.
After the play, personal foul, unnecessary roughness, defense number 10, late hit, 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
It's on Raylan Goforth. Chuck Morrell does not like it. We'll watch it again. Watch the USC transfer Goforth.
He's going to come right off the field, unfortunately. On your right side here. It is a point of emphasis around the pile. The hometown faithful don't like it, but you see Hilborn get tossed, and you do anything extracurricular around these piles, you're going to get the call. Caitlin doesn't like it. Morrell didn't like it. And ultimately, Goforth is going to go find himself on the sidelines, and Tupatala is going to come in.
Washington gives up about 80 yards a game in penalties, close to the bottom of the barrel in the FBS. He's rushed, he's tripped, he's hit, it's incomplete. Tunu Ufi got there to clip his leg.
The ruling on the field is an incomplete pass. There's a receiver in the area.
Wow. He get rid of this ball before he, in any part, touches the ground. Tunaufu is also one of these guys that just got a motor that doesn't stop. Is that left forearm down before he flips the ball out? I think that's the only thing in question. They knew that Tunaufu would be a key today because he could slide and play at end in a tackle, and is a difficult guy to block.
Cam Ward empty, slings it, and Victor reels it in.
Yeah, these slot guys just know the minute I am in space, I have got to anticipate, because that's what Cam Ward is doing on his end. The minute I get to any level here and there's any green grass, the ball's coming.
It's like playing at the net in tennis, the reaction time.
Pickleball.
Yeah. Sheets of sound. 3rd down and 3. Movement. Looks like a false start on the right guard.
Great eyes. That was Brock Dew, the right guard, that was feeling the movement in front of him.
Ball start. Offense number 65. 5-yard penalty. 3rd down.
It's obviously going to be an inside run, and Brock Dew knew that he had to get off the ball early. Just unfortunately too early. That's the noise. I mean, that is this venue. Same thing in Austin last night with the Beavers, trying to go and fight an uphill battle against the 50,000 in Eugene, 70,000 here today. Better block Trice.
Better snap it.
Timeout. Washington State, their 2nd of the half.
I don't want to say rattled, but the sound is affecting Washington State here as we're going to take you to a trip to the beach. Our Pacific Life game summary sponsored by Pacific Life, creating financial security for more than 150 years.
A little bit of back and forth, a little bit of choppy, as Kalen told Allison, Kalen DeBoer earlier. We just got to do the simple things right. You see 8 of 14 for Penix. Challenges, 3 or 4 of those were just unforced. Great protection, just could not quite execute. Cam Ward, who's really a go route and a post route, back to back after a 3rd and 9 conversion, led them on their scoring drive, and it just kind of feels like 4-down territory. I think if you're Washington State today and Cam Ward, anytime you cross the 50 against Michael Penix, just your mindset is 4 downs. Once again, trying to communicate, and this is the guy that you've got to account. You could see the back to his side. Braylon Trice could be a great game wrecker.
And there's going to be another flag. Another flag on this play. It's the 3rd false start.
Prior to the snap, false start. Offense number 65.
Come on, Brock.
5-yard penalty, 3rd down.
To be clear, that was Brock saying that, not me, to my partner. But yeah, it's another one.
And Tunaufu in front of him is a nightmare. I mean, he is a difficult guy to block.
Why does sound affect linemen so much?
Because you can't think when it is at this level and you're trying to remember your assignment. And there's pre-snap movement. They're showing different looks. A lot of things flowing between your ears.
They just barely get it off again. Ward climbing the pocket. Fakes a throw and now rambles out of bounds. He was pushed by Powell, and now is this a go for it? Did you get enough yardage there to go for it?
I don't think you can, because it's only been short fields, right? The Jake Dickert's defense has given up points. So it's been the 2 shorter fields that the Huskies executed on. Now you better hold on to your hat here as you see Chuck Morrell saying safe, 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 keeping defense on the field. You can see the hand signal there from Dickert as well. Okay, let's just go with the safe defense on the field. Really no threat of a fake punt.
Thing about this is, though, it could be make it, take it. Washington gets it out of halftime, so this possession could veritably be the final one of the first half. You talked about the sound. That's part of the reason for the design of 2 football stadiums here in Seattle, Brian.
Yeah, those cantilevered stands right there that when you're driving over 520, you see it. And if you fly over Lumen Field, you'll see the same thing. Part of the reason why is the late, great Paul Allen. Went to Washington State, but grew up going to games at Husky Stadium. And when he had that stadium built and he saved the Seahawks, he said, you know what I want? I want that same thing. I know what those acoustics can do and the sound that reverberates and what it can create. So maybe not as distinct, hitting a little bit better at Lumen Field, but the same engineering to just keep that sound in-house.
And now their Huskies have it from the 9-yard line. Penix under duress, and he throws to the sideline, incomplete. Hicks was over there on the coverage. Devin Culp was the target. This is an enormous defensive possession for Washington State.
Huge, and just the one time out here. So as you said, you could play a little keep away if you're Washington and get some first downs and make sure that Washington State does not have another possession in this first frame.
You surprised that wasn't a first down run?
With Penix? Not really.
Here comes Johnson into the backfield. They'll move Polk into the bunch on the near side. Alongside Odunze. Pressure from the safety spot, and Hicks picked up by Johnson, and so Penix gets it out wide for Odunze. But that's one of the keys to Dylan Johnson, right? His pass protection is so good.
Yeah, he's 220 pounds, and he's played so much ball. Just, again, that deep out cut. I don't think there's anybody that I have seen that throws more of these in college football. And you could do that because those big fellas up front, even if you bring an extra rusher, just do a nice job of giving Penix space to throw.
And even though he gave back a yard, forward progress gives him the first down, and Penix zips it out wide. Odunze one more time in front of Jamori Colson. That first down could really change the complexion of this game depending on this drive and its finish for the Huskies.
Don't you just feel a level of poise with Penix and Odunze? There is just very little that ever seems to fluster them, no matter the circumstance.
Even the way Penix stands in the pocket and his command of the pocket, as that's Nixon out wide, and man, Ron Stone just blew that up.
Sure did. Now that's a tough block for Jalen Polk.
Timeout. Washington, their first of the half. 30-second timeout.
A Washington timeout.
Yeah, it's surprising.
But Jalen Polk on Ron Stone advantage the sixth-year senior from San Jose.
Oh, at 246 against 204? Yeah. Hey, coming up next on Fox, college football action continues. The Big 12, Iowa State and Kansas State. And things are getting wild in the Big 12 right now. That's right here on Fox, the Fox Sports app. Kansas State cannot find itself in the Big 12 title game because of Oklahoma's win yesterday. But you'll hear from Mike at halftime that there is some bizarre going on in the Big 12 today. And an upset in the ACC as well. And with that timeout, Washington is basically saying, we feel like we're going to get this 3rd and 6.
That's right. And we're not just playing for a field goal. A little surprised that Kalen DeBoer did that, but that just shows the trust that he has. And a signal caller, a veteran offensive line, so many veteran pieces around the sling and southpaw.
Follow the bouncing ball here. McMillan and Polk to the near side. 5 wide for Penix. And moving at the line again. Ron Stone over Rosengarten. We'll see who they get.
False start. Offense, number 73. 5-yard penalty, 3rd down.
You don't see this very often from the all-conference performer, but this is a twitchy guy. I mean, these guys, 12 and a half of the 22 sacks come Stone or Jackson's way. And even the elite tackles know Can't give them that advantage off the ball.
Now you wonder if you'd like to have that timeout back. 3rd and 11. Here come those ends. Jackson and Stone. Jackson at his feet. Penix on the roll. He throws, and it's incomplete. He pulled it a little bit against Jalen Polk's hand there.
And he's also basically giving Washington State a timeout. He's not going to get the first down. A good rush. Look at the edge guys. Again, just pinch the pocket. Just make Penix move. Don't let him stay on that spot. And because that ball gets pulled and it's behind Polk, that clock stops. And Washington State with the timeout.
That's a free possession.
Yep.
For Washington State, and we'll see if they can pay it off.
Could have great field position to boot.
Jack McAllister, Washington native, kicks it away for Hamilton. It's a good punt. All the way back to the 40-yard line. Tomorrow, huge day in the NFL on Fox. 1 Eastern time, division rivals in the NFC South. The Saints and the Falcons, or at 4 p.m. it's the Browns and Broncos or other regional action. Check your local listings for the game in your area. It's all on Fox and the Fox Sports app. Allison Williams downstairs.
Well, obviously some frustration with the offensive line for Washington State there. Clay McGuire, their coach, getting after him, letting them know it's discipline issues. They got to be ready to go. But what I loved was Cam Ward coming over, sitting in the O-line coach's seat, spending that entire duration with his O-line, making sure they're on the same page, seeing how he can help them with the communication. He said, we're good. We're going to go fast. You guys are going to be the reason we win this game.
Allison, thank you. He has had to go fast sometimes. Cam Ward has, with 6 hurries so far in this game as Victor goes wrestling. Bruner took it away from him, but they're going to say Victor was down.
As the runner's progress is stopped and it was down.
Well,
Second down.
That clock is running. You better get to the ball here.
Watch it again. See if they stop this. It looked like the shoulder was down. They get it off for Victor again. Back-to-back catches for Lincoln Victor, who really finally put it all together this year and has become such a magnificent target for Cam Ward.
Yeah, 50 catches the last 5 games. Extraordinary, but I like that. Here you're trying to check. So it's a 3rd down. Now you're trying to check, and this is where the problem has been for these O-linemen, to hold the water against the onslaught of noise.
Make your own cantilevers there. 3rd down and 3. Ward short set, and that is fish in a barrel for this offense. Josh Kelly, 1st down.
Still got a timeout. They play fast anyway. Another snap still available.
This is a wide open Lincoln Victor, and a 1st down to a young man named for Lincoln Kennedy here in Seattle.
Yes. Well, you bring a little pressure to the Huskies here, and it leaves an unfavorable matchup for the guys in purple, and a very good one for Lincoln Victor. The corner out on Hampton in the red zone. Protect the football. You've got to now protect those points and protect the ball.
Victor in the backfield. He's to the right of Cam Ward. Watch where he goes on 1st down. It's a bit of a wheel. Ward trying to escape, and he goes down. Braylon Trice tears him to the ground. And a timeout. Washington State, the final one.
He tears through 2 Cougars right here. You can see by the back alignment, they are accounting for this guy because you can't block him one-on-one. Nakia Watson does his best. But the elite rushers, and that's now 5 sacks, and that doesn't even tell the story. One of the country's best when it comes to pressures. Going to be a nightmare at the next level. But Jason, just like quarterbacks have to have a sense of what's going on around them, the elite pass rushers, even while they're moving full speed and taking on 2 guys, they just have that spidey sense to know where the QB is going as well. Force the Cougs into their final timeout.
He has been the king of close this year. The sack total is not egregious. He was the team leader coming in, but you look at the hurry numbers, 10 of them on the way in that weren't sacks. And he told us a couple of weeks ago, I wish I could have made some more tackles this year, but it doesn't matter if he's speeding up the clock.
Now you've got to have an understanding of that clock. No timeouts here. Plenty of time. You can still throw it anywhere and get to the line of scrimmage, but be aware.
Here comes Trice again. Trice got there so quickly. End zone victor, incomplete.
That was an unbelievable throw. The 275 hitting him in the chops. Bruner is running with the seam route here. There is one spot and one only that he could even give him a chance, but Bruner knocks it away.
Can you help on Trice here with the way they played?
Well, they tried. They tried the previous snap. You better hurry. You got guys running on and off the field here. Cannot take a sack.
Trice is raring to go. There is a marker in. It's incomplete, and they're not going to say that was a play. That was pre-snap flag.
That's a receiver at the top of the field.
Offense number 3. 5-yard penalty. 3rd down.
So they should put this, it's on Kelly, they should put this back to 17 seconds or wherever it was when the play started.
Yeah, sometimes those big guys you can understand, but as a receiver, that just... No pre-snap penalties come back and kill you.
So it was at 13. So 3rd down and 18 for Washington State.
I think they're going to talk about that and make sure.
Yeah, I thought it was 17. They left it at 13, but I thought it was 17 when that ball was at scrimmage on the 3rd and 13.
Clock operator, please reset the game clock to 17 seconds.
And I never, ever
thank you.
doubt your brain.
Okay. And that's your first mistake.
So once again, you cannot take a sack here. And obviously, you can't then go up and spike it as well. So this is a shot to the end zone.
Will there be time to do it? Looks like a 3-man rush for Washington. Oh, no, it's 5. Here they come. Cam Ward near side, and Williams good. Oh, yes, he did. Somehow he got that into the end zone for a touchdown. Kyle Williams, acrobatic to slide the foot in. For now, at least.
Wow. The only thing you cannot give up if you're the Huskies is a shot to the end zone.
Now the ball's moving a little bit. The first foot that hit was inbounds.
The touchdown is under further video review.
And then he slides the left foot off the pylon, but the first foot controls if he's holding the ball at the time and he has control.
That is the only question. Is there enough control right here as Elijah Jackson swipes at those hands early? That foot is inbounds. That right foot is inbounds. Well, Dean Blandino, you had about 9 close calls in Ann Arbor. We got another close one here. What are you seeing?
This is extremely close. The key is going to be firm control because that right foot is in bounds. But as soon as that left foot hits the pylon, the player is out of bounds. Is that slight movement versus a loss of control? Again, we've got some really good looks at it. It was ruled a catch on the field, and I don't see enough to overturn it at this point.
What kind of movement are you looking for to signal that he doesn't have control yet?
Great question. You really want to see the hand separate from the football, right? Does that left hand come off the ball, or is the ball just moving as he's going to the ground? Because, look, he's going to the ground. There's going to be some
further review, the ruling on the field is confirmed. Touchdown, Washington State.
Dean, they confirmed it. Touchdown, Cougars.
Unbelievable. What a call by Ben Arbuckle. The one thing, the only thing you could do in that situation with no timeout in the ability to not spike it in front of the sticks is to do what they just did, throw a go route. And Elijah Jackson there does not have the awareness Cam Moore does, throws a perfect seed, and we got a tie ball game.
You asked Ben Arbuckle this week, can you use 1 or 2 words to describe each of your wide receivers? And what he said about Kyle Williams was elite dancer.
Yes.
Control of feet.
Yep.
Ends up coming into play in the corner of the end zone on the front side.
Yeah, I mean, you know, you should know as a DB what's coming, and why you're in press coverage in that situation, I don't understand. And get run by. Just give them cushion. The only thing you cannot give up there is a ball over your head. And that's exactly what you do. But look at those sweet feet. And that guy is going to be aggressive. Jake Dickert hired him to pair with Cam Ward to step on the accelerator, and look at him yell. What a roar and what a turn before halftime.
Tell you what, timeout value is so important at all levels of football. But on Saturdays and Sundays, we see it every week. Do you maximize your timeouts for what the half ends up being? And that scoring drive, which was beautiful in its own right for Jake Dickert in this offense, came about because of the timeout from Washington and Kalen DeBoer with a $1.19.
So infused with confidence. And you know the messaging. Guys, we're jumping off sides. We're making all these mistakes, and yet we're right here. And all the pressure is on those other guys, and we can not only play, we can go out and win this game.
And Gata is hit, and they'll say 2 seconds, 1 second. They're going to have one play here. So instead of it being 14-7 and the ball, or 21-7 and the ball for Washington, it's going to be, barring something totally ridiculous and memorable, it's going to be a tie game going into the half.
You've seen it time and again in this matchup. We referenced some of the games earlier in the 80s and otherwise. You could be favored by double digits. You could be the number 4 team in the country, but if you don't play in and play out with the detail and discipline against a hungry rival, they will come up and bite you.
How about this? Last time tied at halftime, it was the same score, 14-all. It was a 3-point game. Mike, Emmanuel, and Chris in Los Angeles. The State Farm halftime show with the Cougars riled up begins now.
No one said it was going to be easy. It's a rivalry game as we welcome you to the State Farm halftime show. Mike, Emmanuel, and Chris hanging out with you. Of course, we're used to seeing Washington with their high-powered offense and their Heisman Trophy candidate out there putting up big plays, but it's Washington State making the big plays in the first half.
Rivalry game, Mike. I think Washington State is not paying attention to the rankings. Look at Cam Ward hooking up here with Kyle Williams. Looks so good. This is 3rd and 18, UW gambling, playing man coverage, perfect throw and catch. Washington State has 6 explosive plays. You said it best. Washington's usually this most explosive offense. UW only has 2 explosive plays. Washington State has more yards, more first downs, more time of possessions. These guys look like the 4th-ranked team in the country right now.
From the player perspective, let me tell you how nervous Washington is. Yeah. And the reason they're nervous is because they know they're at the finish line. They're sitting here undefeated, just got to win 2 more games to get to the playoffs, just got to win 2 more games. But they realize how much is at stake. So you play a little bit tighter. Coach, I remember 2009, I'm playing at Texas. We started 11-0. We play A&M. A&M was 6-5 at the time. We were 11-0. And at halftime, we were only up by 7. But that's when our quarterback, Michael Penix in this case, has to step up and take over. Our quarterback, Colt McCoy, 4 touchdowns, no interceptions. We went on to the national championship game. Michael Penix, I'm looking at him. This is his Heisman moment. I'm looking at him to step up and be that man.
Just 118 yards passing, 1 TD in the first half. We'll see what he does in the second half. Of course, Washington coming off a big win last week against Oregon State. Well, Oregon State's head coach now going to Michigan State right there. New Era Spartan football is there. Please welcome Jonathan Smith as the 26th head coach in program history, of course, taking over from Mel Tucker, who was fired earlier this season. Ohio State fell to Michigan again. The Wolverines are riding high in Ann Arbor. We'll have highlights coming up next.
Welcome back to Fox College Football, sponsored by Geico. It's easy to Geico. It is not easy to be at the top of the mountain, though, in college football. And Washington learning that today. Take a look at Big Deals, sponsored by Shop with Google. Shop deals, score big. Not a whole lot of run game for either team, and the big turn of events at the end of the first half on the touchdown, post timeout, and punt for Washington. So this rivalry game, last time in Pac-12 play, Brock Heward. What do we got in store for 30 minutes?
I mean, we say it all the time, throw the records right out, because that target is huge. It's unprecedented. Really, one other time the Huskies have been in this position at 11-0 in the history of the program, and those Cougs knew it. And they came out in here today and said, we're going to let it all loose. Start with a double reverse pass, and we're just going to cut it loose, and we're going to trust Cam Ward to be the difference maker. And I told you in the anatomy of an upset, Cam Ward's going to have to outplay Michael Penix. In the first 30 minutes, he did. And he was under duress. He got hit, hurried, sacked. Guys couldn't stay on side, but he never flinched. A huge touchdown, as you referenced there, right before halftime. And Michael Penix, uncharacteristic. 2, 3, 4 passes that just got away from him in ways, well, they certainly didn't the first half of this season. And he's going to have to get it going here as they will get the ball to begin the second half.
That other time they were 11-0, they won the national title. That season, they had one game decided by one possession. One game. A lot more this season. Downstairs, Allison.
Well, guys, for Washington State, Jake Dicker really pleased and proud of how his team played in that first half. He said, we shot ourselves in the foot a few times, but we never panicked. We dug our way out, and we had to settle down a little bit. He also acknowledged that this noise has been a factor. He said we have to get on the same page with that, but outside of one bust defensively, we played a really good half. He said we are taking some positive momentum into this halftime, and it's going to take a great 30 minutes here to finish this thing.
Well, look, he knows rivalry. He's been involved in the Dakota Marker game. He's been involved in Oshkosh against Stevens Point when he was a pointer, and he's chopped it up with people his size and beyond. And let's see who ends up finishing the deal here today. Washington State, Washington, the 115th Apple Cup. Dylan Johnson has 10 carries, a bit hobbled today. This is number 11, and he keeps his feet and drives the legs and finally gets spiked down by Lockett and Stone. Washington's offense on 2 touchdown drives, 40 yards of the 100 on the Odunze bust. The rest of the drives have not been great.
Yeah, I don't even call that a bust. That was just Cam Lampkin falling down at the line of scrimmage. And outside of that, it's been hard. You want to make them earn it. That was the plan coming in. Just put as much pressure on you on Penix and crew as you can, and just get to third downs.
After the gain of 7, he's looking Polk's way. Instead, it is going to be Polk, and it is intercepted by Jaden Hicks.
The ruling on the field was an interception. First down, Washington State.
Yeah, that was never Polk's control. This is an interception for Hicks.
Holy smokes. Can you start it any better in the second half? A 7-yard run, and Washington does what Washington does, and that's take shots down the field in one-on-ones. And that's a matchup that typically Kalen DeBoer and Ryan Grubb are going to want. But Jaden Hicks wants it more.
His first pick of the year was a pick 6 against Colorado State week 1. This is now his second pick, and it sets up Washington State with possession. Ward, quick set. He throws it out wide. And that is Cooper Mathers, the tight end, the former preferred walk-on. Esteen, the safety, came down to make the stop in a rotating safety spot for Washington.
Try to snap it before the crowd can get into it.
And they do. Second down and 8 for Cam Ward. Another short set, and that's knocked down by the paw of Kyle Williams with Elijah Jackson on his back.
You can see Kyle right there just pointing to his chest, grabbing his face mask, knows that these are the plays. Both sides, both coaches will tell you in the biggest of moments it comes down to doing the little things right. Not even making the explosive play, but just make the catch, move the chain, stay ahead of it. And now once again, the hometown faithful going to try to impose their voice and way.
There was movement. It was Isaiah Hamilton, and Washington pointed at it immediately.
False start. Offense, number 3. 5-yard penalty, 3rd down.
They'll call it on Kelly in that bunch.
And it was a sneaky little move by Jamar Muhammad. The corner out there, he backpedals. He can go backwards. But the minute he moved going backwards, you saw that flinch from the offensive player. A drop, a false start, and a 3rd and 14.
This defense is top 5 in the nation on 3rd down and long. Ward hits Kelly, and he runs right into Muhammad, and he's dragged forward by Mathers, who was helping him forward. The tight end was pulling him, and it's a 1st down.
That's unbelievable. That right there is the epitome of want to. That is the fight. You're 2 yards short, but you're not going to give up. You're not going to give up. I'm going to pull. I'm going to do whatever it takes to pick up my teammate.
Josh Kelly, huge play. Now Ward gets around the rush, waves downfield, throws it, and incomplete. Muhammad on the coverage there, and it's 2nd down.
It's 3rd and 13.
There's no foul for intentional ground.
That is so huge.
2nd down.
My little anatomy of an upset, I told you, this guy's got to outplay Penix. He is. You got to be surgical on 3rd downs and get a 3rd and 18, get a 3rd and 13. Just stay on the field. And Arbuckle and crew, a terrific call, and Michael Penix can just look on.
Cam Ward told us this week that he was a huge Kobe Bryant fan. He went to 2 of Kobe's basketball camps and grew up just adoring the intensity of Kobe Bryant. It's a handoff, and Nakia Watson maneuvering for maybe the best running play of the day for Watson. So 3rd and 3. And they'll go tempo here, at least to the line. This is off the interception from Penix. And movement from Washington. This is a free play. They did not blow it dead. There was no movement by the offensive line, and this should be a 1st down coming off the offsides.
Offside. Defense number 8. The 5-yard penalty will result in a 1st down.
You just feel it turning a little bit in here, don't you? Some of those uncharacteristic things that start to happen when the pressure starts to mount and an opponent just continues to hang around and hang around.
And now Mateer is in to play quarterback again. We saw a power run for him the first time he was in. He's got Schlenbaker next to him. Was Victor in motion, and Mateer veering back for a 1.5 yards on 1st down. Uwvideo with the stop for Washington, and now Cam Ward will come back on. What is the idea here?
With that package?
Yeah, with that
you're
package.
Just trying to take a hit off of Cam Ward. You're trying to see if you can run between those tackles, and who knows, Jason, I'm sure deep on that board for Ben Arbuckle will be a play pass off of some of that heavy action if you want to get to it later.
Victor down at the bottom. Ward looking topside, sensing the pressure, fading backward. Trice is after him again. Braylon Trice got there. Ward is down. Tuputala finished the deal. Trice was first to the party. That's a loss of 11.
Well, enough of this zone coverage that Cam Ward can just throw people open into, right? We're going to play man-to-man. We're going to get a body on a body all over the field. So no ability to anticipate and get it out of his hands. Instead, he's going to try to extend. Breaks one, can't break away from another, and an enormous loss of yards. Threw underneath it last time. A little catch and run. Wouldn't surprise me to do it again.
Washington has had issues with pass interference this year. 3rd and 20. Cam Ward under pressure again. He's sunk. Lance Holtzclaw with the sack. That's his first this year.
Yeah, and when Cam sees an 8-man rush, he is thinking there is no way I'm going to have duress this quickly. But you can see Brock Dewey, he's looking inside. He's not helping his buddy on the outside. And a 3-man rush gets home, and back-to-back sacks for the Dogs.
You noticed it in prep, the disparity between the sack number of Cam Ward and Michael Penix, and it's coming into play here.
32 on the season coming in, just 7 of Penix.
Bernard roaming with that punt that keeps on bouncing for Haberer, and somebody should touch on that as it gives up half a yard. Tell you what, Washington is in for a fight. Undefeated Huskies trying to get to the Pac-12 title game, still at number 4 or better. We'll see. Fox College Football is sponsored by Progressive Insurance. Round out your protection with life, phone, and pet health insurance. And by Coke Zero Sugar. Best Coke ever? Ben Arbuckle, the offensive coordinator, Cam Ward, the conversation after a couple of sacks.
Yeah, I think it's a little bit of, hey, just put that ball and play down the field. Our guys are winning. But Ben Arbuckle told us very clearly, for every sack that he takes, and there were 32 coming into today, a few more, you live with those. Because, you know, on the flip side of it is a big play oftentimes waiting to happen.
Cam Ward raved about Ben Arbuckle and said he kind of speaks the same language as I do. Cam Ward taught him.
Same age.
No, they're very close. Cam Ward taught him what the word mid means, which is big in today's youth. Near side catch for Bernard. Allison?
We saw Penix throw that interception to start the half. When I talked to Kalen DeBoer, he said we're just off in the passing game. We're missing throws we usually make. We've had some drops on third down conversions. We've been close to breaking one open, and we haven't, but we need to here in the second half. And he said they just have to be better with the details. Receivers, you know, not trying to make a play before the ball is in their hands. But ultimately, he goes, we've been in this situation before. We have to learn from what we've seen and move forward. We'll see if they can do that after that pick.
It's where the pile of close games they've been in, including that Arizona State game finished by Powell, comes into play. Tybo Rogers shot out of a cannon. First down for the freshman.
Well, that will help a quarterback. That will help an offensive line. And the passing game is just to give these safeties and to give these linebackers a little different look. Tybo can go. I mean, you see the juice and the explosiveness that he has. A little different gear as he leaves Sam Lockett right there looking.
Longest run of the day for Washington for the Rashawn Sheehy disciple, his coach in high school, former Husky tailback. Go back there again. And Rogers is ripped down by the very active Jaden Hicks, who had the pick last time Washington touched the ball.
You know, it's interesting seeing Caitlin hold that call sheet. Ryan Grubb upstairs calls everything, but those two have worked together for quite some time. And I think as Caitlin's looking at that call sheet too, as Jaden Hicks is making another tackle and Jackson, just try to get our guys in rhythm. Try to find a focus. There's Grubb right there. And hard to do so this afternoon.
Ryan Grubb was very frustrated with the run game last week against Oregon State, and he wants on a play like that to get at least 3.5 to split the down and distance in 2. He got nothing. Lockett the stop.
Well, Naeem Robinson just beats Bulow. Just a one-on-one, just a defeat of that block. And here come the Huskies with a little bit of tempo.
They have Rogers and Westover together now, the reliable tight end in motion, and there's movement at the line. Let's see if the marker does come out. It does, and so this should be 5 against Washington State. It's a very edgy scrimmage this afternoon.
That was Quinn Ruff, I believe, trying to get started a little bit early.
They have grounding here? Well, he just moved the flag.
There are fouls by both teams on the play. Offside, defense number 22. Intentional grounding, offense number 8. Those fouls offset, repeat third down.
He does have grounding. How about that?
I mean, there was not a receiver in the area. You're going to see the short route here by the running back outside. And Penix throws the fade. We've seen this a few times, both at the professional and the collegiate level. A point of emphasis if there is nobody in the area. And Caitlin hates it.
But that's why you just have to take the shot there, don't you? I mean, if you know the marker's out for offside, you might as well
What do you think the hometown fans think?
They think whatever he's thinking. I'll have what he's having.
Timeout, Washington, their first of the half.
Now, okay. Yeah, you're caught up in it,
Timeout
and you've got that going on. You might want that timeout for something else. We'll find out. Fox College Football is sponsored by Cerveza Dos Equis. Get a dose. Please drink responsibly. So Kalen DeBoer is still frustrated. We talked to Dean Blandino during the break. Kalen says, look, you should have shut this down, because what's he supposed to do? Take a sack. But the guy that was offside at the top of the formation actually moved back toward the defensive backfield, so he was not unabated to the quarterback. Now, you saw at the bottom of the formation, there was a free runner.
Yeah, Ron Stone's coming free. He's not offsides, and DeBoer has spent 3 minutes just unloading. But it's not going to change the call. The call was he threw a fade route when the running back ran a slant route. There is nobody in the area, and even under duress is not going to get the benefit of the doubt.
And Kalen DeBoer, if we're reading lips properly, he's saying, I've never seen that call.
Yep. I don't think I have either.
But again, if that runner were clear to the quarterback, unabated, they could have shut it down. He was not. It was the other defensive lineman that was coming, and he was onside.
Lots of checking going on both sides right here.
Down to 3. Here we go. Stone coming. He got around the corner. Gusta was in there too. Penix loads up, takes a shot, and heaves it out of bounds.
This is what Arizona State did to Michael Penix. They got into, it's not even the rush outside. With a pocket passer like Penix, it's that interior rush. Once again, blowing by Bulow. Penix has to move, nowhere to go. And ducks out of the way of a shot.
Yeah, that's Buda Al-Ukta.
You feel it, man. You feel the confidence of these guys in Crimson just growing. The longer this game goes, the more they're realizing this isn't just playing with these guys. We can beat them.
Quarter and a half remaining in this game. That's a tough catch, like a really tough catch for Isaiah Hamilton. And that's the type of thing that could really flip a game the wrong direction for Cougar fans. Cam Ward today, your thoughts?
Exactly as advertised. He's going to make some tremendous throws like this one. Some good help from his buddy on the other side. Receivers and Kelly and Williams and Victor that come through. You just can't do it better than that. You stare down the quarter safety. You open up that passing lane on the post route. A perfect dot right here. And then this one was the game changer right before halftime. 3rd and long. Yeah, that's pretty stinky defense right there. And I make you pay.
Great look from our tape room. Gilbert and everybody down there on that toe tap by Kyle Williams. Cam Ward maneuvering, and he's dropped by Tuitele. Downstairs, Allison.
You guys mentioned the confidence Washington State is playing with, and a lot of that comes from the growth of their quarterback, Cam Ward. Dickert said last year he was like FCS sensation Cam Ward. This year, he is Washington State quarterback Cam Ward. He has discovered who he is. He is confident. He's grown so much, and you can see that confidence throughout the team.
This one's batted at the line.
And you know where you see that the most, Allison, is in body language. No matter what happens, last year things were great, awesome. Adversity hits, sometimes some frustration would grow. Patted ball right there, nothing you can do about it, not pouting. On to that next play, got to go win this 3rd and 8.
Allison and I talked to him earlier this week, you and our crew, and he said, I like making the big boy throws. This is a big boy down right here. Short set, got it to Kelly. Another quick hit from Cam Ward to Josh Kelly.
And you just can't call it better than this. You're going to run a little rub route here. In that man coverage you're anticipating, that's been the adjustment. Perfect man beater.
Goes short on the out there this time for Isaiah Hamilton.
All those throws in the first half, right? All those little rhythm and spacing throws and anticipatory throws. Depthless, as they like to say with Lincoln Victor. And then you got to get a feel. What's the opponent going to do? Well, the adjustment was a little more man-to-man coverage. A tremendous call there from Arbuckle. And yet again, another critical third down conversion. What does Chuck Morrell and that side have in store?
All these short throws, I can't help but think what Arbuckle told us. He used to play with 05 Texas in video games, just throw Hail Marys all the time. This is the opposite of how he grew up as a football watcher. And another short pass and another completion for Lincoln Victor.
Yeah, just a little RPO, so now you're going to give me zone. And now you're going to give me that little window, and I'm going to fake the little inside zone to hold the linebackers and just play pitch and catch.
Big hole, Nakia Watson veering outside and taken down by Elijah Jackson. That's a big play in space by Jackson.
Boy, there was a lot of green grass. You're going to see Mish Powell on the very back end of it, but you're right, a corner right here with tremendous blocking one-on-one in the open field.
Ward crashed into, down he goes, and a marker in. Voi Tunuufi once again.
Yeah, and that got thrown into. That's going to be the left guard once again. Tia Levea throws Tunuufu into the legs.
Holding. Offense number 57. 10-yard penalty. Replay first down.
Yeah, this is a tough place to step into. We've seen a few of these today. You've just got to let go.
That's dangerous for a quarterback, too, isn't it?
Incredibly dangerous.
You said it at the top of this drive, the confidence building for Cam Ward, and now can you regenerate that behind the sticks? Ward slings it sidearm, and Victor can't hold on. Are those tougher to catch from that arm angle in any way?
I think these guys are so used to it, Jason. I mean, they practice it so much. And that ball comes in a hurry in so many different places that, no, I don't think that he would use that as an excuse. I think it's unfortunately the negative plays are the things setting this offense back more than anything else.
Victor again, and he gets some of it back. He's still up. Victor's still up. Oh, it looked like they were, oh, wow. He was going to play through it. They did blow it dead. Let's see. Yep, elbow. Credit to Victor, though, for running through the play. Gain of 11.
A kicker with a big leg as well. You just cannot go backwards here.
Four sacks for Washington today. They just got it off. They'll go out wide. Nakia Watson is stonewalled. Mikel Esteen with a huge play.
Nice job here. You can always tell these DBs, they know what's coming when you're playing a system like this. You've got to have eyes to the quarterback and then that peripheral feel of what's coming at you. I mentioned the big leg of Janikowski, a career-long, season-long of 55 already. So at 50, more than within range.
For a Washington State lead. Janikowski on the way. It slices wide.
Field goal is no good. Timeout on the field.
Oh, this ball game.
Oh, I feel people down in Alabama and Columbus and Austin and everybody watching every one of these critical plays.
I just want to run. I just want to rock. Body out.
played in driving snow before. This is as beautiful as it gets for the Apple Cup, the last one in Pac-12 play, and Washington just cannot extract itself from the Cougars. It's the last 3 games for Michael Penix Jr. What's different, Rod?
Well, it was win versus Utah, it was rain versus Oregon State, and it is just a feisty Wazoo team that's got tremendous people at the line of scrimmage, on the edges in particular, making him uncomfortable.
They use the orbit motion with McMillan. It's Dylan Johnson on the run. That's his 12th carry, and that muscle gets him all the way out to the 39.
Well, it was back-to-back runs to begin the previous drive, albeit with the true freshman, and now you're bringing the hammer in. But the interior guys, that's been the disappointment, I think, today for Washington, and give credit to Rodman and Gusta and Milani inside.
Penix throws it out wide. Where is Rome Odunze? He's right there. It's a first down for Washington.
You just feel like now when you're getting to winning time, you've got to find a way to get your best players involved. Washington State does that on every snap with Cam Ward. The ball's in his hands every single decision. But here's 215 pounds of a 6'3" receiver running right through that 1-2 tackle.
$89 of the 133 for Penix have gone to Odunze. He's going to be at the top of this formation.
Those safeties deep.
Oh, that's Lampkin with him. They'll toss it to this side, the long side, for Dylan Johnson, who's in plus territory.
Now you're just getting to the point of your Dylan Johnson looking at that scoreboard going, I don't care how much my foot is barking. I don't care how much you tried to save me to just 15 touches. This is a rivalry game with everything on the line with 17 minutes to go. A playoff, a championship, an undefeated home season, an undefeated perfect record through the Pac-12, which has never been done since it expanded to the Pac-12.
It is Johnson. Penix sold it well, and Johnson wrestling for 6, 3rd and 1. Well, the upper body's fine. I mean, he is a strong young man.
Inside and out. Like so many on this field that have transferred and found new homes and have gone through and built scar tissue along the way, both physically, emotionally, mentally, on both sides, to be built for these moments.
He said he transferred away from home from Mississippi to challenge himself. He won 3 straight state titles in high school, trying to win a Pac-12 title in his first season at Washington. 3rd and 1. It is Johnson, and he has eyes on the first down.
I'll tell you who else we've not called his name yet, but he typically shows up in big moments, and that's Jack Westover. He's made some huge catches this season, 4 touchdowns. We were here a couple weeks ago on a 4th down in the wind against Utah, where Michael Jordan went up and couldn't have caught it any better than he did. He's typically a guy that just, when you get not called his name all day, he just finds a way to make catches.
Yeah, no targets yet at all for Westover. Nixon is in. Penix flowed to his right, throws to his left. Guess what? Bellevue's finest, gain of 19.
And if this ball is on the money, it might be a touchdown. But once again, he just shows you at 250 pounds. Look at him go and get it. He's got to leave his feet. He doesn't want to. There is nobody in that zone. And if this is a catch and run, there's another 10 plus for him. I think that's why he gets up and says, I'll tell him you called my number.
Penix a pump and go into traffic with Lampkin. Odunze, what a reaction!
You a bad, bad man. I mean, you just get one-on-one, you know what you're going to get. And that's Cam Lampkin. Just in a one-on-one, he tugged the jersey, doesn't matter, he's going to fight through it. Devontae Adams, the best in the world in the red zone when he was with A-Rod in Green Bay. This guy is going to be difficult at the next level, too.
I mean, you think about what college football means. It's about showing up as a high school player and then getting better and better and better. Odunze was great last year. His whole plan for this year was to be bigger and more physical for contested catches. Westover shows up to set up a high red zone opportunity for a guy who is here for this catch this year. End of 3, Washington by 7.
Coach Dickert, Washington gets that touchdown to end the 3rd, but you're within 1 to start the 4th here. What do you need to see from your team in the final 15?
Well, if you told me we'd be down 1 score going to the 4th quarter with the ball, we'd take it. So stay positive. We still got to stop hurting ourselves a little bit and stay on the aggressive. So we got to go win this thing. They're not going to give it to us.
Thanks, Jake.
Go Cougs.
He knows how important this game is for an entire town. Pullman, Washington.
Whole community. Every Coug there is in this state, out of state, yes. And they're going to be their best. Looking at my board here when he told us best is our motto. Believe, energy, strain, and togetherness. And it's going to take all of it here in the final 15.
It starts with Lincoln Victor. And his return gets them across the 25-yard line. The good news is there is history in this rivalry of fourth quarter comebacks. If you're a Cougar fan, 2012, 11 years ago, Washington State went into the fourth quarter down 28-10. They were down 18 going into the fourth quarter and won.
Well, they just know, too. Just don't hold. Don't take a sack. No negative plays. When they have been able to be on schedule, this ball has moved up and down the field. Now, easier said than done against Braylon Trice in this front, in this crowd, which has been the best I have heard it all season long.
Quick throw. They spit it out wide for Kyle Williams. To your point, 8 penalties against Washington State, 4 sacks taken. That's 12 negative plays that you just can't afford.
And yet you're within 1 score.
Yep.
Against the number 4 team in the country.
With everything in front of them, the Huskies. Nakia Watson, a jump cut. And battering ram right into Hampton. Oh, doctor. Yeesh. Cam Ward, far side, nearly intercepted by Muhammad.
Wow, he had 2 of these a week ago in the biggest of moments in a veteran cornerback. I'll say it again. Reads the eyes. He's a man-to-man coverage, and once those feet pitter-patter, he doesn't waste any time, and he knows he was so close to adding a critical takeaway.
From midfield, Cam Ward over the top, down the seam, nearly intercepted, and is off the deflection. Esteen ripped it from the ground.
Rivalry games, man. Rivalry games bring out the craziest bounces and breaks at moments you could never script.
Fox College Football is sponsored by Pacific Life, creating financial security for more than 150 years, and by Pfizer. So this series dates back to 1900. They used to play for the Governor's Trophy, but then the Apple Commission donated the Big Apple Trophy to the competition. And now it's the Apple Cup since 1963. And how do you like them apples? Esteen with an interception off a deflection. And the first turnover for the Washington defense, which has really buoyed this team the back half of the season and has been outstanding in the fourth quarter. Dylan Johnson, hesitation, and he creates some more yards after first contact. Talk about low man wins.
I kind of like that they have allowed these rugby scrums. I just continue to push and play through the whistle, and we'll say it again. Coming into this afternoon, wanted to really try to limit his touches. That's now 16 carries on a hobbled foot.
Now, the plan sounded like 15 as of a couple of days ago. And Dylan Johnson has decided to hit the over on his own touches today as it's 2nd down and 3. Short toss. Johnson is a yard short. Kyle Thornton the stop. these rivalry games, I mean, the level of, oh my goodness, did that actually happen, is constant.
Third and 1. First 3rd and 1, they took a shot, got the touchdown. Second 3rd and 1, moved the chains before the Westover play that followed. Here's another 3rd and 1 situation. They got the 3 tight end package on the field.
Give it to Johnson, tripped up. He is dropped. That's Al Ukta, who came firing in.
Wow. He came firing in, but just watch the linebacker here and how much he has to sift through. Look at all of this. You're going to run the counter, and he has to read and react and sift, and he's never in his life made a bigger tackle for loss than that one. Wow, that was a lot of moving pieces in a bunch of different directions. And that's where some of the quickness and the agility of Jake Dicker's undersized front 7 comes to life.
This Washington State team had lost 6 in a row before last week Friday when they blew out Colorado, and now the Cougars have a chance as there's a marker coming in. That's in Washington State's backfield.
Offense, 5-yard penalty, 4th down.
What a stop. You get the turnover, right? You put out the fire right there. Jake Dicker's guys continue to just believe. And it was the safe package on the field, and now they're going to run the punt return crew out for Washington State.
Washington has one of the best punt return coverage units in the country. McAllister's a part of that, and this is a fair catch from Hamilton. Washington State will set sail from the 35-yard line, trailing, but Jake Dicker, a ball of energy on the sideline, trying to will his team back to another tie.
Yeah, jump out, boys. That's Nike boys hopping our coast. Way too big when we pull up, give me the loot. Was off the rim.
Welcome back to Fox College Football, sponsored by Geico. It's easy to Geico, but it is not easy to put on 2 college football games in a matter of 30 hours. There's Turtle and Craig hanging out here in the booth. Our crew got on a bus at 1 o'clock in the morning. There's Eddie. Hi, Eddie. Showed up here at like 5:30. Jimmy, so many people. How you doing, Matt? So look, so many people got on that bus for 4.5 hours to come directly from Eugene, Oregon, to here at Husky Stadium to put these 2 games on for you, and we love them dearly. They are the most dedicated people in television, and we thank them one and all for getting this game to where it is at the level of detail it is. And just one note, right? We love these rivalry games because there's camaraderie, because there's split focus of Washington State, and there's Cam. Washington State and Washington fans sitting next to each other, sharing the moment together. We love it just the same because we get to share it with everybody here on the crew. As Nakia Watson in space is knocked down. Carson Bruner demolished that play in open field.
That is so hard to do. And we've seen this a few times in the open field, and Bruner right to the legs for the takedown. Find a completion. They've been so good in some of their RPO game. This is all man zone as well. You've got to read that defense, Cam, and make sure you've got maybe a man to one side and a zone beater on the other.
Ward looking this way. He's got it. Rub route for Williams.
And that's exactly it. And there you get the rub route to the man to the field. No penalty here, and just we've seen this now a couple different times. That's not a penalty. A good job to Olay and get out of the way and create the conversion.
Just about midfield. Ward faked the handoff. He goes out wide for Lincoln Victor, who's submarined by Muhammad. Second down coming up into plus territory.
Stay on rhythm. Just stay on rhythm.
This is the tempo in the Metrodome that first touchdown drive felt like, right?
That's right. And then they were able to take their shots, and they get a third down conversion. They've been excellent on third down today, giving themselves more and more of these plays and opportunities. 7 of 14, and many of them difficult third downs. And just kind of waiting for that post or that vertical that they hit early on that early touchdown drive.
This is a run, and it's straight ahead for Nikhil Watson into the pile, and they will drive that pile. Dew kind of got side saddle with him, trying to hustle him forward, and it's third down and a couple.
It's, again, just a very manageable third down if it's four-down territory. And Ben Arbuckle can create that one-on-one against Chuck Morrell. We saw the post route earlier. Lots of throws underneath. When will you take it over the top?
Will it be on this 3rd and 3? Cam Ward, quick set again. Right there for Williams. He dropped it. He could not hang on. Kyle Williams in just anguish on the turf.
Almost a distraction drill in front of him, a double slant. And you see his eyes come off for just a moment. He's looking for that safety. He's looking for the corner. A perfect dart. And now a 4th and 3.
Two tight ends came in, Dollar and Revere. Apple Cup live it on the edge once again. 4th and 3. Cam Ward throwing this way. It's Revere, the tight end who just came into the ball game. First down.
Yeah, this guy usually comes in the motion and into the ball game with this motion to run a little crack. And this time he comes not for a run play, but to out-leverage that defense. A beautiful catch. The big fullback tight end flipping his hips and keeping the drive alive.
Under the late, great Mike Leach, they just didn't use tight ends. He had the first, last year, he had the first tight end touchdown for Washington State in 11 years. And he has an enormous first down grab, Revere does, to the 33.
A little more checking here.
Ward down the middle, got it to Kelly. First down inside the 15.
Double post deep over, a staple of this system. Double post to the bottom, you're going to see the deep over come across, and it's all set up with the protection.
Ward wrangled and dropped. Ulafosio sacked him, number 5 for Washington.
And Cam gets up screaming for a face mask call. That's their little triple option. Could have handed it, could have kept it, could have thrown it to the wide side of the field, which he's done on a couple of occasions. Doesn't get the face mask, and instead, another sack to the ledger.
The 5th sack for Washington.
It was Williams earlier on just a gorgeous fade route, same end zone. Right down here.
Ward sets and throws, and it is incomplete for Lincoln Victor. Back to the possible face mask.
Yeah, just in between on that one. Is there a face mask here? He gets to the ear hole initially and then comes right off of it. The Buckkiss semifinalists with that sack, just a negative play. It's the only thing that's slowing down the rhythm. Setting up 3rd and 15. Place is shaking.
Ward on the run. Cam Ward hit from behind and dropped. He got only 2 yards. And with that and the Bandez tackle, you figure they're going to take the 3 here. What do you think of the call?
Yeah, just not a throw to the end zone. Surprises me a little bit when they've taken them pretty good earlier. But this will continue to put the pressure on the guys on the other side if Janikowski can hit from 35.
He missed from 50 earlier. This is on the way. There is a flag coming in, and it might have been in the middle of the formation there. Let's see. Depending on the call here.
That looked like Hampton jumping over using his buddy to try to jump over the line of scrimmage.
Personal foul for leaping.
Yep.
Defense number 7. The penalties enforced half the distance to the goal. Automatic first down.
Yeah, you have to take it. It's a first down watch in the middle of the formation here.
What a mental error. Why? I know why. Apple cut.
Emotion, right?
Emotion. Like a turnover.
It really is. And there's no question you take the points off the board. Absolutely. Here. And you go. First and goal for Washington State. From the 9, that got gummed up. It's Lincoln Victor on the exchange, and he gets maybe a yard and a half. That was dangerous.
Yeah, because Tunuufu is shot out of an absolute cannon, 52 right there in the middle. He's undersized. He's 260 pounds, having to play between the tackles, and he does it with tremendous quickness to disrupt that play. Give Kyle Williams a chance. Give Josh Kelly a chance. Give your outside receivers the opportunity.
Victor moved to the outside. Now he comes back in and scores! Lincoln Victor, touchdown!
So good. Tremendous scheme, going to come in motion and come right underneath in a one-on-one, and we've seen some tremendous tackles from the linebackers for the Huskies, and that time Hampton, who tried to jump over for the block, is in a one-on-one with the water bug, and he can't get Victor to the ground.
Lincoln Victor, who is literally named after his first name, taken from Lincoln Kennedy, who was so good in the other uniform. And Lincoln Victor in the Apple Cup ties the game after the leaping penalty against Hampton.
Can't write some of this stuff.
Oh. How is this going to end? There have been calls that have gone down in history in this series. The backward pass that wasn't in 2002, et cetera, but the personal foul for leaping against Dominique Hampton sets up the touchdown for Lincoln Victor on a 6-minute drive that should have ended in a field goal, Brock.
These are the moments. These are the games. And Hampton wants it as much as anybody. He's a 6th-year player as well. He knows the mistake he's made. And then coming back with the broken tackle as well. And you know all that he's thinking is to try to remedy it here in the final 6.
As they did as a team after Tuputala's mistake 2 weeks ago against the Utah Utes when he dropped the ball at the goal line. Time now for Above and Beyond, sponsored by Jersey Mike's. Be a sub above. Allison talked at the top of the show about these receivers and how important this game is to everybody on the field, to them specifically, and they have been outstanding, both of them.
Do it a little differently. Victor does so much of the damage right in the slot. That time coming in motion. He is so uber quick, difficult to cover. And Roma Dunze at 6'3", 215 is a guy that Penix trusts with everything in any one-on-one situation, and more than likely in the final 6 minutes going to have a say in this one as well.
See how much Odunze can affect his team going unbeaten back to his hometown of Las Vegas next week. Penix chucks it down the field. McMillan, and it's wide, incomplete. 2nd down coming up.
That's what he wants there. That is just an inside vert. You could see the conversation there with Sam Lockett back and forth. Just man to man, and that is just one of those throws where Penix usually is so good at just trusting his guys, giving them an opportunity. And that one just sailed wide.
Is it anything mechanical, Brock?
I don't see anything different in his fundamentals from week 1 to week 12. Moments just get bigger.
Dylan Johnson back in the backfield. He slipped that time as he was hitting the hole and only got 4 yards.
So here you go, 3rd and 6. I feel like we've said this an awful lot for these Cougs today. Right? It's not just been big plays and explosive plays and getting in rhythm. It has been many of these for Jeff Schmedding, the D coordinator, Jake Dickert, the head coach, that is just asked to compete and play at the highest level, and his guys are performing.
Odunze and Colson at the bottom of the formation. Moving down to 5 minutes in the Apple Cup, meeting number 115. Here we go. Penix wanted Odunze, and he's hit, and he spiked it into the ground. One way or the other, it's going to be 4th down for Washington.
Well, this is what ASU did in this building to cause havoc. Put these linebackers right up here, and because of it, the line slides down. There is nobody to get out to Brennan Jackson that comes free, and a 3 and out, and a 3 and out. And the stadium's been silenced, and the Cougs have everything in front of them.
Washington came into the game with only 14 3 and outs all year. That's 3rd in the nation. They've had 2 in a row here in the 4th quarter. Isaiah Hamilton waves it off and then pulls it in. Somebody is going to have a moment that they will talk about for the rest of their lives in the next 5 minutes. Fox College Football is sponsored by State Farm. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. And by Hampton, by Hilton. Hilton for the stay. Pac-12 titles for Washington. 2016 over Colorado, then 10-3 over Utah. They went to the college football playoff the first time. They want to do it again here in 2023, 7 years later, but Washington State trying to stand in the way. Will that smile remain for the next 5 minutes? Nikhil Watson hits the gas and runs into Hampton, gain of 9. Close games galore for Washington, and they have won them in so many different ways. The defense has been big. They're 5-0 in 1-score games. Washington was moving at the snap. That's a low throw, and it's secured on the outside by Lincoln Victor, 1st down.
But you can just feel the vibe in here. Remember how electric it was just 20 minutes ago? Not anymore. A lot of pensive, nervous fans in purple and a Cougar faithful that is believing.
Movement at the line. This could be a free play. Cam Ward loads up a shot down the sideline, and a jumping try by Kelly. It's incomplete, but this should be a free 5.
Both of them.
Offside. Defense, number 4. 5-yard penalty. Replay, 1st down.
Yeah, that was ZTF, and Trice actually got both bookends right here, trying to get off on the snap, and the clap gets him. And a free 5. And this shows you why no team has ever gone unscathed in this Pac-12. To play every one of these battles to the very end is so difficult.
To literally the very end of this series in conference play. Nikhil Watson hit and driving forward. That was Tupuola Fatui who got into him first, and it's 2nd down and short.
What did you say about the leading rusher, the team that wins the rushing battle?
They've won 9 straight games in this series, Brock.
Well, we're about dead even right now, which is exactly where we are on the scoreboard. Actually, Washington up. After this drive, that may change.
Washington has 2 timeouts. Will they think about starting to use them at some point defensively? Oh, hopscotch for Watson and a marker in again. Washington State 8 penalties for 60 yards already, and Watson was down.
Holding. Offense, number 57. 10-yard penalty. Replay, 2nd down.
Tupuola Fatui, who's down right now, and another foul against Tilavea.
It is just those hands have gotten away too many times, just right off the snap. And remember, Tilavea is playing. He played last week. His first start in a couple years at left guard because of the injury to Pole. But they moved Hilborn outside, and Roderick has had a tough afternoon keeping up with the interior strength and speed.
Yeah, Pole out, another legacy guy in this rivalry. His brother Tony had a huge game his second year at Washington State. Part of that comeback for the Cougars. Can they withstand this pass rush? 2nd and 12. Undefeated Washington right on the edge. And a whistle before the snap.
Clock operator, please start the clock on my signal.
It's one thing everybody here can agree with. They don't like that announcement. They want more, not less of this game. Schlenbaker is stymied after about 1.5 yards, so 3rd and long for Washington State.
Ben Arbuckle's never made a bigger call. Jake Dickert just can't wait to watch in many of the arena. Curious. The final 140 seconds of this baby.
What a final chapter in Pac-12 play. 5 to snap it. Cam Ward scanning, backpedaling, climbing the pocket. Ward throws, double coverage, incomplete. Victor and Hampton, 4th down.
Oh, I can't believe he threw that. I thought he was going to run, and there was a lot of green turf in front of him. I mean, he is looking eyes down the field, but he did such a beautiful job versus that 3-man rush, and it was only Tuitele and him.
Will he see the ball again? It's up to Washington. Bernard back to receive. Their catch at the 10. 119 seconds in regulation in the final Pac-12 Apple Cup. Wow. And part of the emotion of this game is because Washington is headed that direction next year. Final Pac-12 Apple Cup. Michael Penix Jr., 90 yards in front of him. His first throw goes to the outside, Rome Odunze, and he rides it for 10 downstairs to Allison.
It's been remarkable to watch Michael Penix throughout this game. Guys, he doesn't change. It doesn't matter what happened when he comes off the field. His process is the same. He is completely even keel, steady. As he watches the game being played out from the sidelines, there's no reaction. He is so poised, so consistent.
His teammates call him the quiet assassin, and there it is on the sideline. Wow. That was dropped by Jalen Polk, who does not have a catch today.
You said that heading into this drive, not one reception yet, and you couldn't have put it in a better spot. Kind of like we've seen on the other side, if you don't look it all the way in, yeah, that's about as demonstrative emotion as you're going to get. Snap and clear.
It's a late substitution in the secondary this side, and it goes to Bernard that direction, breaking tackles and pushing forward for about 9. It's going to be 3rd and 1. Washington State all 3 timeouts, 1.5 minutes to go. 3rd and 1. Johnson hit in the backfield, and Ron Stone came in to provide the wall at the very end. Hicks stood him up. Stone got back there, and it's 4th down. Clock is still going, although there are whistles. There have been a number of whistles. The clock has moved all the way down to 102. Evidently, the clock is just not going to stop.
Timeout. Washington State. They're first of the half. Clock operator, please put 1 minute and 15 seconds back on the clock.
Nusi Milani. They've not called his name, but he's right here. And he splits the double team. It is his penetration right there. And if there is a play that epitomizes the Cougars this afternoon, that's it. 3rd and 1. Now we're just going to run right at you. Right? You got numbers to run at you. Nope. I'm going to get underneath. I'm going to grind. I'm going to claw. And look at the shoulder pad as it sticks straight north. Wow.
Coming up after our game, whenever that might be, stay with us for the BMW Ultimate Update.
Kalen DeBoer said to Alice in the first half, we got to do the details. We got to do the little things right. That drop by Jalen Polk, enormous. Not winning on a double team, allowing a guy to split your double team. Those little details have gone the way of Washington State here in the second half.
And that is why we are deadlocked with a $1:15. Now they're going to run up to the line and bark. There's been a lot of movement at the line. Don't blame Washington for trying to do this. And they're going to get a whistle before the snap comes. Timeout, Washington. They're going to have to move the clock back to 1:15. Take a look at our Pacific Life game summary, sponsored by Pacific Life, creating financial security for more than 150 years.
Well, the big play here, just the unfortunate slip by Lampkin leaves Odunze wide open for the explosive play. Say it again, this one before halftime, maybe the most critical of all of them. Odunze gets a touchdown to put the Huskies of 7. A field goal, a penalty. It takes the points off the board as Hampton tried to jump over. He can't bring down victory, and here we are. As Jake Dickert said to Allison, wouldn't have it any other way. You kidding me? A chance to come into this place and knock off the number 4 team in the country and undefeated. And look at who Washington is bringing out.
Oh, my. Oh, wow. This is an unbelievable level of confidence in your offense.
With one timeout left offensively.
In so many ways for the game here. They will go, and they're going to go the other direction. Oh, it's Odunze! Rome Odunze! An outrageous call! Unreal. Washington past midfield. Penix drops it off. It's caught, and Johnson is just barely wrangled by Thornton, and all the emotion. The entire pendulum has swung to Washington, and a marker has come in as well. Undefeated and undaunted right now.
Personal foul, roughing the passer, defense number 10, late hit. 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Now you're talking about field goal range. It's on Stone.
Jason, I cannot believe what we just watched. And we're going to see it beating Fautanu, but late.
Clock operator, please put 55 seconds back on the clock. 5-5.
I don't know. He doesn't run through him. Is it a tick late? Okay. Is this the Apple Cup? With everything on the line? I can't believe that call.
The residual heartbeat of that play from Washington on 4th down and 1, reverberating in this stadium. Penix, free runner, end zone nearly picked off. Jamari Colson. Oh, Jamari Colson, who wasn't really supposed to play
and hasn't played a ton this season, nearly had a pick to totally flip this game. .49 seconds. Pressure coming. Panics over the middle. Man, glue hands from Westover.
Unbelievable. Look at his face. Come on, Michael, put it on me, man. Can you just put one between a 3 and a 7?
Timeout, Washington State. Their second of the half. 30-second timeout.
Timeout, Washington State. Dean Blandino on the roughing the passer. What did you see?
42 seconds back.
You know, I saw the defender come in with his head up. Was it a tick late? To me, no. Look, the ball's gone. He takes one step. He doesn't hit him in the head. We get the benefit of replay. At full speed, the official thought it was a foul. I just don't like it. I don't like it. There's nothing about it that says roughing the passer to me.
Yeah, he didn't strike him. He didn't land on him. There was no indicator. He, in the heat of the moment, is trying to get to Penix after a 4th and 1 call. After hitting a toad in a hurry, I never thought I would see something. They had one timeout. If they did not get that, Wazoo's going to get the ball in field goal range with the inability to stop it. But that is Kalen DeBoer and Ryan Grubb saying, I trust my guys on offense, and I trust them more than anything. It is their team in their hands.
Third and 4 in field goal range.
This has got to be Rome Odunze, right?
You would think so. He's down at the bottom. Everybody's moving. Johnson, right up the middle, first down.
One timeout. Remember, you have missed 3 of your last 4 field goal attempts. A field goal at this point is no gimme, and I think you're going to see it called accordingly.
One timeout for each team.
Odunze to the bottom, one-on-one with no help.
Penix looks that way. In the air, Colson had another shot at that thing. Wow.
This Colson cat. Jason, there's no help. You are one-on-one with a guy with 13 touchdowns this year, and if Rome doesn't get his hand in right there, he plays DB. This is nuts. And Penix knows it. He knows 2 throws that he put in harm's way to Colson, and Dickert can't believe it.
All the games matter, but you can see it on the faces. There is something about tonight with everything at stake. Penix, pressure, he's hit, and he's dropped back at the 25-yard line. Jackson got in there. The clock is moving.
They'll call timeout, and that could not happen either.
This happened in the Utah game.
Yes, it did.
And then Gross missed to try to put that game away.
Yep. And you know what's coming. I mean, it's a one-on-one everywhere. So you could have thrown a quick fade, just get the ball out of your hands. An unbelievable onslaught. This Cougar team cannot and will not give up.
How much more can the young heart endure?
And what is Grady Gross's heartbeat right now?
There is a timeout available for Washington State.
Started so red hot, kind of like this Washington team, running away from everybody, not missing a kick. And then it gets a little harder, and the target gets a little bigger, and the moments just get larger. And missing 3 of the last 4, one of them blocked. Now has an opportunity to send this team to 12-0.
For just the second time ever. It's Grady Gross. And it's a timeout, Washington State. It's a little bit like on Let's Make a Deal when they say, what door didn't you pick? Let's see what's inside of it. He made that field goal. It doesn't count. Back to Odunze.
Do you know how many things have to go right to set that play up? I mean, the communication between Kalen DeBoer and Ryan Grubb before that moment. Okay, do we punt it? Do we put it back in Cam Ward's hands again? Do we ask our defense to do it again? Or are we going to trust Michael Penix and Rome Odunze in that play call?
Michael Penix can't watch. Polk will tell him yes or no. Does Grady Gross have a memory to keep for a lifetime? For the win, it is good! Washington survives Apple Cup insanity. DeBoer with Allison Williams.
Coach DeBoer, this game came down to the very end, but a defining moment on that 4th and 1. Take me into the decision and the play call.
Well, I mean, you know, there's options on it, and Michael's got a few of them, and he chose the right one. Got the look we wanted, and let's get it to our best player, Rome Odunze, and let him go.
This team is 12-0, undefeated on the regular season. What did this group give you week in and week out to achieve that?
Yeah, they just hung together. It's as tight a group as I've ever been around. They play for each other. They'll play for till the very end. It's one of the most unselfish teams I've ever had.
When you think about this rivalry game and the way your team was able to get it done, what will stand out to you the most?
Yeah, just, you know, it wasn't easy. You know, rivalry games are going to be that way. Hats off to Washington State. They played a good, hard game. But, you know, just time and time again, our guys finding a way to come through. I'm really proud.
All right, and what is going through your mind as you watch that ball sail through the upright?
Yeah, you know, I saw it the first time, and, you know, you got a good look at it. I liked where the ball was at, you know, it was towards the middle. And he's been pretty money when that's the case. So a lot of confidence in that unit. Proud of Grady Gross. He's made some big kicks this year.
Kalen, thanks for the time. Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you.
Whoa. Overwhelming emotion.
He may have bottled it up all game, as Allison said, and been unwavering. But he's spent. I mean, you talk about emptying the tank. Everybody on this field. Perfect snap, Jason. Perfect hold. No rush. And you said it, I don't know, about 20 minutes, a half an hour ago. Somebody is going to write their name in the lore of the Apple Cup. And for the last time as conference foes. The biggest kick of Grady Gross's life.
Jake Dickert knows how much is riding on that. Yep, he made it. And for a while, you didn't even know if Michael Penix knew they won. But you said it, right? You spend an entire season trying to stay unbeaten, trying to fight off all the challenges. And you're the quiet assassin, your teammates say, but it's got to go somewhere. That's all got to go somewhere, and it's got to come out somehow. And it did, right there in the final seconds at Husky Stadium.
Thank you, college football. What a weekend.
The human condition never fails. Our entire crew did such a marvelous job making this happen. Washington wins 24-21 over Washington State. We'll be back with more post-game coverage from Los Angeles right after these messages. Unreal.